who comes over to talk in my place, just give them the mic.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Guys Night Podcast. We are live at Old School Iron in Cleveland at the posing clinic put on by Center Stage Aesthetics. And with me right now is Dejan, part owner of the company. Welcome aboard, brother.
Thank you for having me again.
Thanks for having us, man. We're excited about this. I know there's a lot of people that want information about this kind of thing that might not be able to attend live. But this is something you guys have been doing for a while, right?
Yes, we started about, I want to say 2 years ago, full blown. So Mike, which he'll be on a little bit later, he's the main owner of the company. He's been doing posing for a very, very long time, and he's been helping his team pose, and he's allowed a lot of athletes always jump in his sessions, and he's always just loved teaching people how to present themselves in the best way possible, because no matter how good you look, if you don't showcase it in those 20, 30, 40 seconds you get on stage, they're never going to know, and they're going to give it to the guy next to you. And it's a shame to work for 12, 16, 20 weeks total for grinding your body fat percentage down and you don't present it right, and then someone who hasn't worked out as hard as you wins over you, and that's just devastating, probably in the least of anything. So he's been doing this for a very long time. When I actually linked up to him, he's the one that taught me how to pose back when I first got into bodybuilding, and then I was like, Mike, you're so incredible at this, why don't you advertise this more? And that's kind of how the idea of integrating together and making what Center Stage Aesthetics is, to make coaches feel more comfortable about coming together and teaching their clients how to properly present so the coach's work shows better. A lot of coaches don't have the time to only do the posing with you. They do your diet, your workouts, they still have families. This is a whole aspect that adds to that layer, and it really just takes up a lot of time. So we really put it in together to work with all coaches and bring them aboard to make sure we don't skip that step for all the athletes and everyone presents properly.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. So you guys working with this coalition of coaches, essentially, getting guys from all over, women from all over that work together. And I'm assuming that helps them be better coaches regardless if they're coaching a woman or if they're coaching a man, right? Because you guys do both today.
100%, yes.
Let's talk about posing in general. What percentage of that is really, when it comes down to your scoring and things like that when you're competing, how important is posing versus just looking your best?
I would probably get it almost 30 to 50%. Unless you're crazy conditioned with absolutely insane muscle bellies, you'll be able to step on the stage and the judges will be like, that guy wins.
Gotcha.
But unless you're within that degree of ahead of somebody in the show, that posing is really going to come down to showing the differences in everyone's physique. And when you're at a more, let's say, local show, that might make the difference, where you can just see someone that's crazy like that. But once you get to a national level show, everybody looks good. Every person that's stepping on that stage, they've placed top 2 at a show, they've qualified for nationals, they've come in and they've done their thing. And because of that, you are going to have to separate yourself and make sure you're showcasing every bit and not losing out on a pose.
Yeah, absolutely, I can imagine. And obviously, learning to pose isn't easy either. Like I've heard like some stories of like it's a workout in its own.
Yeah, you'll see shortly here once we do a live broadcast of everyone posing. Especially this being probably the first clinic of our year. Some people might have taken the holidays off, eaten some extra food. You will see people drenched in sweat.
That's great.
Because you have to think, when you're working out, you do a bicep curl, you're contracting your bicep constantly and putting tension and blood flow in that. But you're not flexing your abs, your shoulders, your quads. In posing, you're flexing every single muscle at every time without barely breathing and keeping that the whole time.
That's intense.
So yeah, it's like a full workout.
So how long, you mentioned when you partnered with Center Stage, how long have you guys been partnered, and what's the future hold for you guys?
So me and Mike I've been a client of Mike's for about 4 years now.
Okay.
Center Stage itself has existed now for going on 3 years. So it was after our first year as him being my coach that we really integrate to joining forces and just collaborating together to make it easier for our coaching experience, and then what we started now at Center Stage. What it holds, this is going to be probably our biggest year. We have a lot of big events and big athletes coming in. Just today we have a top 10 Olympia athlete coming in, and other Olympia qualifiers that are going to come in to help people pose. And
now, are these guys that have trained with you guys previously, or are these guys just that heard about you and wanted to be part of this clinic?
So a really big thing about the clinic that I like to preach about is there's so many amazing athletes that they know what it's like to start where you've been at. They weren't always superstars, and they've worked their way up, and they just want to give back to the community, show up and help these people that are upcoming and going, that are striving and want to do better. They come here on their own free will and time and donate time to help these people out. So they don't even ask us for a nickel or a dime. They just come in and we just make sure everyone has a great experience to make a great community.
That's awesome. And hey guys, if you're tuning in, please like, share, comment, ask questions. Want to make sure that the sound is coming in okay. Looks like Troy Piazza is saying what's happening to you, giving you some love. So Troy, hopefully you're able to hear this okay and it's coming through clear. We appreciate the feedback. So talk about, how this clinic starts as far as what you guys are going to begin with and what the process is going throughout the day. Is there a lot of individual coaching? Is it almost all as a group? And
yes.
then is everybody welcome? Like, can anybody just come to this? I think that was something that you guys have shared before.
Yeah, a lot of people get intimidated because there are, again, like I said, Olympian level athletes here, but there's also people who've never stepped 1 inch of posing here. So we teach all levels from ground up all the way to advanced posing. We have enough coaches usually where we can segregate the groups to levels. The amateurs will go with the one side so we can learn the basics, the steps. And then the more advanced people will go in the actual rounds of posing and we do the groups. And towards the end, we'll collaborate everybody so you can just take what you've learned. But essentially, the way we're going to run the clinic today is you'll come in, we'll announce a couple people. We're going to do a mock trial clinic. So what that entails is we're going to have, let's say, bodybuilding go up first. We're going to call out a couple bodybuilders. We'll give you an example of what judging looks like for bodybuilding. We'll move them around, call the poses out, see what individual routines look like. And then we'll move on to figure, physique, classic, wellness, bikini, and give you just a little bit of a sample of a couple of the higher end athletes that have come to teach today and how they present their bodies so you can know what to expect of your division. Once we get that mock trial run, then we're going to start letting you know where we're segregating each division at, which you will then go to your respective division, and there will be a coach there, and we'll segregate you to help you learn in which category you'll be best at. And if you're a newer athlete, you're more than welcome to come up to me, Mike, or even any of the coaches, really, and we'll kind of take a look at you, and we'll give you our best opinion, what division we think you should start with to try to learn. And let's just say someone's in between, they don't know if they want to do bikini or wellness, they can go into bikini for the first half of the clinic and then go to wellness and get a little bit of both and see what they're more comfortable with. Because that's not only what you look like, you want to grow into the division you feel most comfortable with. So even if you look like you're going to be a bikini athlete, but you want to build some muscle and want to grow to figure, you should go to figure, learn what figure is going to be like, so you are setting yourself up for that success.
Right on, right on. And then, so what do you personally compete in?
I do all three. My main division is going to be classic. That's the one I am more built for, just because I'm much taller, and for me to be an open bodybuilder, I'm going to have to be 300 pounds in the off season. And that's just a lot of grind that I don't think I have the genetic structure for. But classic is a little bit more within my realm of possibilities. As the 4 kids get older, I can take it a little more serious.
Fair enough.
And then I also like to do physique just kind of more for fun, just to stay sharp on my posing, because I do help with all categories. I do help with the women categories too, but I'm not going to cross over on those in the competitions.
So you mentioned, the off season, what you would have to do if you want to do that, and obviously there's a ton of work that goes into it. Nobody really talks about the discipline. Like, we talk about the PEDs that are in this business, and obviously I know Dave Lieberman's going to be here today, which he runs one of the largest natural competitions in the area.
Yes.
But people talk about PEDs, they talk about, the different ways that bodybuilders get their strength, but they don't really talk about the fact that it's one of the most disciplined sports in America for anything.
Oh, hands down.
It's 12 months out of the year, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you have your prep that you're doing for your show, and we'll say low end, it's 12 weeks, higher end, 16 to 20 weeks long. That you properly cut down your nutrients slowly to get that body fat down without losing as much muscle mass as possible. And yeah, it is a grind, especially. The hardest part is, like, if you have a really tragic day, your kids has the flu, you're sick, you're out and about, you have to go to a work trip, whatever the circumstances are, you have to be prepared from the beginning of the day till your face hits the pillow to make sure your meals are appropriate, you don't go over your macronutrients, that you're properly feeding your body. And even, like, let's say you could get away with eating a Snickers bar, you don't want that kind of mentality and setting yourself up for failure. You need to stay consistent throughout this whole journey to finalize yourself to what the best package possibly it can be for you.
Yeah, I guess it'd be pretty easy if you say, I'll just have a Snickers bar today, and then it's that much easier to say, I can have a Snickers bar 2 days from now because I still look good. And then before you know it, you create some of those bad habits and get
100%.
Addicted to those things that feed the addiction.
Yeah, and even like you said, it's a 12 months out of the year sport. Even though that prep is, like I said, 16 to 20 weeks, so let's say 4 months, the other 8 months, you need to feed yourself up properly to not get too fat Otherwise, then you're dieting off muscle if you don't do it properly. And you need to maintain yourself into a good position to start a prep to lose weight. And when you're doing that, you're pretty much on a diet always, just at a higher caloric amount.
Now, you mentioned you were going to have somebody kind of do a little bit of a test run for us, right?
Yes, so I have an athlete, Brian, here that we're going to be utilizing.
Brian, and what does Brian compete in?
Brian he's going to be doing classic physique and bodybuilding, and he is about 14 weeks out now, so he's just starting his diet and coming done with his bulk. So he was a good example that I could utilize for today.
And you mentioned 14 weeks of prep. What does prep like that look for? Because I hear a lot of people say, like, prep killed me or prep ruined it for me. I've heard of people say that they weren't the same after their show for months because of their prep.
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing with prep is when you are starting a prep, you're maximizing what your BMR, which is your metabolism, can be at, and you are slowly chipping it away. You don't just drop 1,000 calories. You'll maybe week to week drop 50 to 100, depending on the athlete, and slowly increase your cardio, not dramatically, otherwise it's, again, too big of a jump and a metabolic shock. So your calories start to slowly do this, and your cardio starts to slowly do this. Depending on the athlete, the cardio may not change much, but every little bit, as your body fat starts to drop, every 20 calories, 30 calories, you're gonna feel week to week to week. And I would really say when an athlete is really dialed in, until the 6 to 8 week mark, you're not really feeling the prep as hard. You'll be, losing your weight, and you'll feel comfortable, and you'll actually probably be your strongest ever, just because you're so optimal in the amount of nutrition you're putting in your body.
At the beginning of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then once you hit that 6, 7 week mark, your body fat has dropped just enough where you're just tanked, your energy levels are going. You're not building muscle at that point.
Well,
Nothing is going to
we talked about, too, your glycogen levels, right? So I'm assuming with less fat, you're eating more into muscle when you are getting into those workouts and things like that, too.
Yeah, at that point, it's really important to maximize your carbohydrates and or whatever macronutrients you're utilizing in your diet around your workouts so you can have the glycogen to make the most of your workouts. But realistically, the hardest part is also going to be your fats are so low, your serotonin levels are dropping, your cortisol levels may be going up because you can't think. You get what's called brain fog, and a lot of things kind of just start to kick in. There are things to mitigate those effects, and the experience will help you. If you're used to being at a lower body fat percentage, it may not hit you as quickly as the people who are getting to that amount the first time. But realistically, as you get better, and each show that you do and your body fat gets lower and lower, and you get more used to being at 8-9%, it'll be a little bit easier. But then it's not easier, because then this show you're going to be getting down to 5-6% body fat, and you're going to feel that difference.
I guess everybody has a different approach. Troy put in here, he thinks the prep is the favorite part because it's like getting ready for the Super Bowl. He said it's after prep that's the hard part.
After prep is difficult because when you're in prep, you have tunnel vision. You have a goal. Every day you have micro goals. I'm going to hit my macros. I'm going to hit my cardio. I got to get my workout. There's little check marks that you can finish. And it's a great feeling when you're going to bed and you're like, I hit all my calories, I've done all my cardio, I've done my workout, let's do this again tomorrow. And then each adjustment every week, you're getting closer and closer to this big Super Bowl, essentially. But once that Super Bowl is done, yeah, it's really tough because now you have to reverse out properly, you have to put on proper muscle mass. It's not as quick of a gratification as you've seen that body fat and those abs come in and the sharpness and looks of your muscles. It's a mental battle to you not binge because your body is so hungry to replenish all that body fat that it's gone through for you to engorge. And just the rush that you get of dopamine, eating sugar that day after the show to replenish calories, it's kind of hard to pull back. And then you get what's called post-show blues, where you kind of just gonna get sad because there's no ultimate goal. You're like, all right, I'm gonna compete next year, but now you don't have those little check marks. Like, sure, you gotta get your workout in, sure, you're gonna do your cardio, sure, your calories will be eaten, but again, it's not that instant gratification that you're getting in prep.
It's probably a lot harder to stay. Like, do you have a lot of guys that first couple of months after a show really like pack on the weight or really like let themselves go just because of those? It's essentially it's a crash.
It is, and your body's going to try to replenish glycogen super fast, so it's going to retain water. You want to really be careful right after the show because your body will have no limits. Like we have a client, Bill Vissi, we talked about before. He gained 31 pounds in 48 hours.
Holy smokes.
And he felt it, you're sweating crazy, all the water's just storing. Why we don't recommend eating forever, but he's a bigger guy. He's about 300 pounds right now, so he can gain that weight, and that's a different percentage than, say, a 150-pound person.
But still.
It's still a lot
of weight.
I mean, imagine you woke up out of bed and I throw a 30-pound ruck bag on you and you had to carry on your life the next day with that vest on you. Like, even walking,
everything
bending
just
over.
feels harder.
Everything instantly, because you're not gradually putting that weight back on. It's overnight, and your joints and ligaments aren't prepared for that.
That's insane. All right, well, let's, you want to set Brian up, see if he's ready to go,
Yes.
and I'll flip one of the cameras around so they can kind of see it?
Definitely.
Awesome. All right, guys, stay tuned for a minute. We're going to go ahead and swap some. Where are you going to put him up, right here?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want me to go live on this, and I can just set it up like that?
Yeah, that's fine. All right, guys, so stay tuned. We're going to have Dejan here walk Brian, who's one of the athletes down here, through a posing clinic just to see kind of what
Brian,
it's going to look like. And he's at the beginning of his prep, so he's probably doing this every day.
Megan, in your underwear. You don't have shorts on?
I have shorts on.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I was about to say. He's prepared. He's prepared. Don't
He's
worry.
prepared. How's it going, Brian? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man?
Good, I'm Will.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure, brother.
Have people sign in here, their names. Allison should be here if they're here for the clinic, and just make sure they pay $10.
All right, guys, so as Brian's getting ready here, thanks for joining us. Appreciate those who are commenting, liking, sharing the post. You know, what these guys do is pretty impressive, and we want to shed some
Rick,
light on it, and really
can
want
you
to
pull
shed
up
some
what
light
Mike's
on center
Venmo
stage
is and write it
athletics,
down
put
there so
this
people
on
know?
for not just their own athletes that they train, but anybody that's wants to join, be
Say
a
again?
part of it. It's $10. You get to come up here, you get to work out,
That's
get to
where
be part of the
Elsa's
gym.
collecting. It's gonna be
You
all
see a couple of them.
I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. We're facing this way, so people can walk through.
No, but I'm saying people are going to come right there.
Yeah.
Allison collects the money
yeah,
right
it's,
there. She has a little thing.
A lot going
You can't
on
really
here
have all
right
that
now. You can
stuff
see
there,
everybody
too.
kind of trying
So why
to
don't we
get
set a
their
table
pump
up
on
there
before the
separate?
actual clinic
Yeah,
begins.
otherwise it's going to be all clustered in one area.
Some
We
people
could. I just
stuff
needed to plug. I can go on this side, but then
it's definitely
I was going to give that to Celeste.
Once again, this goes back to community. We've talked about it.
So I didn't mean him. I meant Brittany.
Oh, have Brittany come over here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's not all clustered right there.
Good idea. Do we have a table in the back?
I don't think I have his. I have yours. So.
I'll get it then. Eddie, could you do me a favor? Can you go in that room over there and grab a table? Oh, you're training? Then hold on, I'll get it someone else. He's grabbing a table now.
I just bounced.
Oh, shoot, my phone is there.
Evan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
The apparel, we can just do later. Don't worry about the apparel right now.
Run the post,
I'll announce
run the
apparel. People
gym.
can come over. For now, we just need to make sure people sign in.
A
and pay.
lot of people here today.
That's the most important
Yeah, you
part.
can already see it starting to get packed, and people are starting. And the music is hype as fuck too.
Yeah, the people will be trickling for now. For the next
Yeah,
about
they're over
30
there.
minutes, will be trickling in.
They're over there.
Then there's some people that show up
you know Mike's
after,
Venmo.
like starting like during the posing clinic too.
Do you have your phone with you?
We have people that drive I think like an hour away, sometimes 2 hours away. We had this one guy comes down from Columbus once a month.
Hi, Elijah.
Or once every 2
You helping
months
your
for
mom
posing,
today?
Just to practice. And it's really cheap too. I mean, like, 1 hour session with these guys, it's like $10. Dejan,
Yes.
$10?
Yes.
$10, yeah. $10, yeah. Posing with some of the professionals and stuff.
At Mike-Ui-1.
Test. Are you able to hear this, Evan?
So I'll put both of them through posing. What's up, guys? We're gonna do some posing here in a second. I'm gonna do some criteria for you, showcase what that is before we start the clinic, and then we're gonna do a live feed of everyone on the clinic on there. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in.
We're good.
Awesome.
Awesome. Can I put my phone on that, or are you recording?
Dejan posed. Brian actually posed.
No, I think Dejan's going to put Brian and maybe Rick through it, so
That's okay.
be an opportunity for everybody to kind of
Yes.
check out and see what's going on.
Mike told us to come at 11:30 for in-body scan.
Oh, okay. That'll be through that door to the left where the chiropractor office is.
Okay.
So go out the door, and then you'll see graffiti, and then a window that says Diamond Chiropractor. Okay.
Do I need somebody to like
Do it.
stuff or?
The chiropractor.
Wow,
does it.
Troy.
Oh, okay.
176 to 230 in 9 weeks. That is insane. So you know exactly what it's like to go through the ups and the downs.
Hi, Emily. Sorry, middle podcast. Still
So here's a family affair. We got all kinds of people up here right now. Looks like Dejan's at work.
Yes. Cash. She will take it.
You getting in on this too, Rick?
I'm gonna put them both through it.
All right, you guys are going to be facing this camera, just so you guys know.
This one.
Right now, you're in the shot, so that's good, right? Yeah, right there's fine.
Which camera we facing?
That one, the white one right here.
Would it be too much if I faced this way?
You're actually right. No, actually.
Like if I were to pose them like this, would that be okay?
It's a wide angle.
Oh, it's wide. Okay.
Yeah, it's. Are you trying to? You want to be in the shot, right?
I mean, I'll be walking around them.
I
Make sure they're in the shot.
I can see you guys both right now. Fine.
Okay.
So like that's your limit, like right there, about 1.5 feet to the left. Just so you. Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay. Got it.
Now remember, you and I are both tied to mics, so we gotta be cautious if one of us is talking. That if we're talking over, it'll just come through as blabber. But
Can you look at my phone real quick to see if this?
are you wearing matching underwear to your shoes? It's pretty close.
No, you're good. Your phone is good.
Plan that out well.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Just grab whatever's underwear on top of it.
There we go. That's real good, actually.
All right, guys.
I'm assuming it's his.
Soften the light thing.
I can't talk. No. Yes. All right, guys. So we're gonna go over the bodybuilding poses. First one, we start off. You're in the shot.
Hey, Dejan, talk to this white camera.
Talk to that one. Yeah. So first one we're gonna start off is a front relaxed pose. So go ahead, guys.
Actually, hey, real quick, why don't you guys angle towards it instead of towards us? Yeah, like that way you guys are side by side.
So this is your judge.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That works.
We're gonna take one step back. That's good.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, so front relaxed pose is about symmetry. We're showing off the symmetry of the athlete. Your chest is up towards the judge. Your waists are back because you want to make the waist look a little bit smaller. You're going for this V-taper look. This is the most important pose that we're starting you guys off at because this is the first look the judge is going to put you into. Next is going to be quarter turn. We're always going to the right. Even if you're left-handed, it's okay.
Better know you're right or left.
Biggest thing is we're not hiding the glute, so his hands are far back enough so we can still see the symmetry of this hip. Arms are downward, and you want your wrists to be about even with each other in both these poses. If you look at the camera, Rick, look at the camera, it kind of just looks awkward. You always want to look in the direction of this pose, and I look back. Once Rick looks this way, now you look more like a statue, and you're facing the direction like Rick and Brian are.
One would say majestic.
Much
Very
more
majestic looking right
All
now.
right, quarter turn again. I feel like I need to get long hair. Usually bodybuilders are bald. These guys aren't. Just up. Back more. All right, back pose. Same thing as the front pose, but the biggest thing is they're going to tilt backwards a tad. Whenever you're doing any bodybuilding pose, you are imagining that your physique is showcasing to where the judge is. And the judge is always going to be downward, looking upward at you. Quarter turn again. So again, same as the other quarter turn, just in reverse. Now they're facing this way and face front.
You're sitting there. You're sitting up here.
Yes. Front double bicep. Front lat spread.
Whoever you want to sign in, no matter.
Again, we're showing off these symmetry points. The waists are back, the chests are forward. They are keeping in mind the judge is judging them from down there, not a straight ahead angle. Side chest. Side tricep. Now, we went over the front lat spread and the side tricep. If you're a classic competitor, they don't call those shots, but in bodybuilding, they will. Face the rear, back double bicep. Brittany has something right there. Back lat spread, the black thing. I'm not sure. Brittany just brought some in. Face front, ab and thigh. Favorite most muscular. And this is going to be the final pose they usually call for bodybuilding. If you're a classic competitor, there'll be a favorite classic pose. Brian, Rick, you hold. And you can choose any pose that shows off your physique to the best ability in a favorite classic pose. That's going to be one round. They're going to take you then back, front relaxed. And they're going to make you do it again. Front double.
You were sweating, Brian.
You guys getting a workout over here.
Want to be first one in your pose so they can see you in the pose. Front lat spread. You don't want to take too long in the pose because they're not going to wait to call the next pose on you. Side chest. Face the rear, back double bicep. So this is the order that we go on in a classic physique. There are no front lat spreads, no back lat spreads, no side triceps. Sometimes a little bit of battling of the elbows might happen. Be courteous to the people because they say you fighting, they're not going to be happy with you. Face front, ab and thigh.
Now, are the judges announcing these poses, or do they have to memorize them?
The judges will be announcing which order they want. Sometimes they may skip a pose and call a different pose, but usually this is the general order they're going to go in.
Now, what judge calls the poses?
The head judge. There will be 7 judges. Hold the pose, hold the pose. Hold it. If they're judging you and asking, they're going to keep it going. Sometimes if you're doing a pose, let's say for this one for an example, and you start getting tired, what some people will sometimes do is you can bring your hands back down and reset your pose. But you don't want to let your breath go out. At any point, you have to hold your pose strong and show no weaknesses. Favorite, most muscular.
So this is where you get to show off whatever you want?
This one is this pose. And classic is a favorite classic pose you can show off.
Oh, I got you. So, okay.
There are a couple variations. Rick, do a crab pose. You can do a crab pose in this one as well. That is a version of the favorite, most muscular. And relax, guys. And at that point, once the judging is done, they will call you off the stage or move you guys around as needed, which you'll see in the mock trial that we're going to be doing.
Gotcha. So is there any showmanship that goes into this? Like, you know, it's funny, like, you know, my daughter's in cheerleading, so cheerleading competitions, they have to smile and stuff like that. So is there anything that these guys have to be doing and showing the judges while they're doing it, like to make it look easy, or?
You just want to look like you want to be there.
Yeah.
Mike has a great story, actually. He got second place because he didn't smile and he intimidated the judges. And they said if you smiled, you probably would have won that show.
That is
so
hilarious.
You definitely want to look like you want to be there, you're happy. Smiling is important. If you mean mug the judges, it just doesn't look as pleasant, that's all.
Fair enough. Rick, what are you showing off over there?
The way the story actually went is I did a national show and I just missed getting my pro card. And so I went and talked to the judges afterwards to get some critique. They said, honestly, it was really close. What made the difference was you had a mean look on your face. I'm like, that made it. They go, at this level, the physiques are so good. We don't look for a reason to move you up. We look for any reason we have to move you down because there's so many good people.
Wow.
It's something as simple as not having the right facial expression. moved me close. When I was really close, they moved me down a point.
Wow, that's crazy.
You want to have Mike sit down and talk to him now?
Yeah, if he's ready.
Mike, are you good for a small talk? Yeah. All right, let me put this on your tank top. I'll grab it right now, just so I can hear you better.
All right, make sure we get all set
What's
up.
that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go set up now.
Yes.
All right.
What's that?
One
You
second.
know what? Actually, I'm guessing Dejan maybe. Dejan. He's looking to see who he Venmos. He's looking to see who he pays for the posing clinic. There you go. Quite a workout, huh? How long you been doing this?
We got a lot more. I done one other time.
Okay, so
I don't compete. I like food too much. I like food a lot. So give him Mike a second. He's going to be on right now for the interview as well.
You want to go right here?
Sit down right there.
yeah, right here, brother. You got the mic for him?
Yeah, I put it on.
Oh, cool. What's happening, dude?
How's it going, guys?
All right, you'll be able. Yeah, you're fine. We're just gonna look at when you're talking. Just look at that camera so you can see. But
Gotcha.
Well, hey, I appreciate you joining us. Appreciate you letting take part of this event.
Of course.
You know, I've heard a lot about it. Even before met Dejan, I've heard a lot of people talk about the clinic that you guys put on. So he's shared a little bit. He's been with you for about 4 years, but you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
So share kind of what got you into it originally, and then where your path is taking you and how you got here.
Well, basically the way it all started is, I mean, I've been a coach, trainer, a bodybuilder for a lot of years. And there's been so many shows where I've seen people have great physiques and their presentation just wasn't there, and they could have won shows, but they didn't know how to present it, and they end up getting third, fourth, fifth, or not even placing when they didn't display their physique correctly. So my thing was, I'm gonna make sure my clients never have that problem, because we're gonna bring a great package, but we're gonna make sure that they never lose it because of their posing. Because you see it all the time, physiques that could have won a show didn't display it right. Because I always tell everybody, it's not the physique you possess, it's the physique you display, okay? Those judges ain't with you at the gym walking around, they ain't with you backstage. All they know is what's before those eyes in those mandatory poses for those 2 minutes. So you better display it perfectly, okay? So what I started doing is I started doing like a little thing with my clients at first. I started with my clients, and every Saturday, back when we were at World's Gym in Sheffield, I would rent out the Group X room there, and every Saturday we would do a posing clinic, similar to like we do here. And I had a good amount of people because I had a good clients. It was just basically for my clients. And then, we did it every week, and obviously my clients' posing was always, really good. It made a big difference in the shows.
Sure.
And word got out about it, And then once Dejan became one of my clients, he was working with me. I had him come into the clinics. That's actually how he met me, because he needed help with posing. He was with another coach back then. And he hit me up. He said, "I heard you do posing," and he came out to one of my clinics then. And that's actually how we ended up getting together. So I ended up becoming his coach, training him. And then we started doing collabing and doing some stuff together. So then we decided, hey, why not open this up to some other people instead of just our clients? Why not open it up so we can, get like a community going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what we did. So we said we gave it a shot. We started opening up to other people, and it just blew up. It took off. And I know a lot of people in the sport. I've been around a long time. I know a lot of good coaches, a lot of good pros, and they're all great people. And I would just call them up and say, hey, you want to come out and help with this? And many of them did, and they come out on a regular basis. They take the third time out of their day. They travel a long way just to kind of give back to the bodybuilding community that gave to them. And it's worked out really well. So we get some great pros from all over, and we make a fun of that from it. We get to meet some other people in the industry, like-minded people. You get to learn some stuff, and it's a great experience. And we only charge $10.
That's amazing.
Because we're not doing it to make money, okay?
Right.
We're doing it to help our clients, to help other people. Just like I said, the other pros do, we do. We're giving back to the sport that's giving back so much to us.
Well, and the other thing about it too is you talk about building a community.
Yeah.
This is a difficult sport. I talked about with Dejan, like 12 months out of the year, you have to have a discipline really that most, even, NFL sports, basketball players, like they don't have the discipline that you guys when it comes to diet, when it comes to training.
No, it's 24/7. It's the hardest sport there is when it comes to that.
So when you have a bunch of people, even if you're not training with them, if they're not part of your clients, like just having other people, it's like you want to go grab dinner. You know that you go grab dinner with them, and they're going to be struggling to pick the same things you are.
Exactly.
It's got to be a big benefit to them.
Definitely is. And the rest of the world doesn't understand what we do, because our sport is very extreme. It's 24/7, because it's not just, like you mentioned, if you're in the NFL or the NBA, you go to practice, you got your games, and that's it. You got the rest of the time, evening to yourself, you do what you want. Bodybuilding, you're getting ready for a bodybuilding show, you got to get up first thing in the morning, do your cardio. You got to have your meals all prepped. You got to eat your meals throughout the day. You got to practice your posing. You got to do your workout. You know, all these little things you have to do. I mean, it's really 24/7 on top of doing your job or whatever your profession is. You know, so it's very difficult.
That's another part. I didn't even think about that, because this isn't a high-paying sport until you're getting into the big sponsors and things like that at the Olympia level, I'd assume.
Right.
So this is really a hobby for a lot of you guys.
Right. Not, you know, obviously some people make money with it. It's only the top pros that do. You know, most people, they do it for the love of the sport. And finding like-minded people, because like I said, the rest of the world doesn't get what we do. They don't understand it. They're not living it. But seeing other people that are going through the same journeys, the same struggles, and meeting those people and encouraging each other really just created a community that just exploded. It took off. I didn't even think it would take off like this, and it just took off. And these things became huge, and, you know, other competitors got to meet other people in the industry, and it really become a great experience.
Well, and we talk about, too, like, obviously the overall health of Americans right now is kind of on the decline.
Right.
But it seems like, whether it's through social media or whatever, it seems like the fitness industry is starting to really come on an uptick right now.
Right.
So you guys train other clients as well, not just people that are trying to be bodybuilders, correct?
Correct. We do a lot of lifestyle clients. A lot of people just looking to get in shape. You know, aside from bodybuilding training, I was known for transformations. I've had over 20 clients that have lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
You know, so that's very rewarding also. And many of those clients, like, you get a client and they'll say, well, you know, I don't ever want to compete. I want to get in shape. I'm like, that's great. Let's get you in shape. But as they get deeper into it and they start getting in shape and they start seeing the reality of, like, maybe I do want to compete. So there's a lot of people that have come to me, and just looking to get in shape and looking to change their lives in a way, like I said, maybe they're 100 pounds overweight. But then we get them to that goal, and they can see it all form, and they're like, man, I never thought I would do this. I never thought I'd have the confidence doing it. I never thought I'd have the ability to do it. Let's do it. And then those people sometimes actually end up becoming competitors and do really well.
And unlike a lot of sports, it doesn't have to stop in your 30s, right? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be 53 in 2 weeks.
Jeez, congratulations.
This past September, I just won the IFB Pro World Championships.
Wow.
So I'm a Pro World Champion. I beat guys much younger than me. So really, no, it doesn't have to end. You know, it's all on how you take care of yourself, okay? There's a lot more knowledge now than there was years ago on training, nutrition, recovery, you know, doing the things you need to keep yourself healthy and stay, you know, even if it's not in the sport, everybody wants quality of life. Quality of life's everything. It's not even about how long you live, it's the quality of life to be able to do the things you do. And I've told you before, like, you know, because I'm still going and I keep retiring, and I come out of retirement and I do well. And I'm like, well, the thing is, nobody ever wants to stop doing the things they love. The reason they stop doing the things they love is they're not capable of doing it anymore. You know, professional athletes retire because they get older, they get injured, they can't do it no more. You know, same thing with bodybuilding. You know, people retire because they get injured, their body breaks down, they can't do it no more. But if you can intelligently do it in a way where you work around things, you keep yourself healthy and keep the quality of life good where you can still do those things, why not do the things you love? There's no age limit on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all on what you put in and how you take care of yourself and how you persevere.
So do you get, when you do these different shows and you're competing, especially on that national level, do you see a lot of people, though, that are your age that are still doing it, trying to fight through it?
I'll tell you, it's more common now than I've ever seen. I've seen some great competitors in their 50s and even in their 60s that would blow your mind how they look.
Wow.
You know, and it's a lot of these older guys are beating the socks off these young guys in their 20s and 30s because they've been doing it so many years. They got muscle maturity, they got that hardcore attitude. And, you know, one thing about the older generation is they're willing to suffer and work. I mean, with a lot of the younger guys, they really don't have that yet. They're kind of soft. They don't have that mindset yet. But as you get older, you get that work ethic where, man, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll push through, and it shows on the stage.
Yeah, for sure. Let me ask you this. Obviously, you guys do men and women, you do bikini.
Every division.
How many different divisions are there, I guess you say, for man and for woman?
All right.
There's quite a few,
So
right?
in men's, you got 3 divisions.
Okay.
You have bodybuilding, which obviously everybody knows bodybuilding.
Sure.
Then there's classic physique, which is similar to bodybuilding, but with classic physique, it's more of a classic look, okay? So more of that V-taper,
Gotcha.
more streamlined look. So what they do, so in bodybuilding, whatever you weigh, that's your weight class. If you know, as an amateur. As a pro, you're just a pro. You compete against any weight class.
So it doesn't matter what weight class. Right.
But as an amateur, you get a weight class. Doesn't matter how tall you are. If you're 198 pounds, you're a light heavy. If you're over 198 pounds, up to 224 pounds, you're a heavyweight. If you're over 224 pounds, you're a super heavyweight. So anyways, there's weight classes, okay? So no matter how tall you are, as big as you are, that's what level you compete in. Now, classic physique, they go height by weight. So if you're a certain height, you can't be over a certain weight, so you're not too big, so you have more of that classic look, okay? So, because otherwise, there'd be a blurred line between bodybuilding and classic physique.
Gotcha.
So let's say if you're 5'10", say 5'11", you can't weigh over 215 pounds.
Okay.
Because you don't want a 5'11" guy coming in 240 pounds.
Then
It's just changing the division.
Right.
So that way they keep it a classic division. It's still a lot of muscle, but it's not as much muscle as open bodybuilding, so there's a separate look.
Okay.
Then you have men's physique. Now, men's physique is the look where they wear the board shorts.
Gotcha.
And it's more, when it first came out, it was just more of a beach look. But now these guys have a hell of a lot of muscle, man. They have a hell of a lot of muscle now.
This is like the real V.
And I'll tell you, it became a really good look. When men's physique first came out, I wasn't really a fan of it because they would mark you down if you had too much muscle. They didn't really want. Now these guys are jacked. They got a good amount of muscle, but they got beautiful physiques, man. They got those super round cap deltoids. They got those tiny little waists. Flows really good, and they do have legs now. Okay, because back in the day, you know, the guys, they would just cover their legs. Now these board shorts are tight, and you can see the shape of the legs. So that's your men's divisions, and now I like all three divisions. They're all really good. Women have a few more divisions. So women, you have bikini, okay. You have figure, which is kind of like the athletic look.
Okay.
You have wellness. The wellness division is relatively new, and it's really taken off. That's for the girls that have the bigger lower body. So their lower body's a little more developed than their upper body. That's wellness.
Okay.
You have women's physique, which kind of took over women's bodybuilding. Okay. So there still is women's bodybuilding, but you don't see as much. Women's physique is basically similar to very similar to women's bodybuilding. Okay. So it's a more muscular look. It's a bigger look with more muscle and more conditioning. Okay. And then now we have a new division called fit model division. So that's a step down for physique. So they don't really want you, because now these are a step down for bikini, I should say.
Okay.
Because the bikini girls, when they first came out, was more of a beach look too. Then it started evolving, and these girls have a little more muscle. They have a little more definition. So now they made a division this year. This is the first year for it called fit model, where it's more of just like a tone look for girls. You know, feminine tone look. They don't want shredded abs. They don't want the cap delts, and it's going to be the first year for that division.
So do you see that being like a stair step into the program for women?
You would think it'd be a stepping stone for like for a girl that maybe wants to do bikini, work her way up to bikini or figure, maybe like a starting point. You know, that's the way I would view it as. You know, because it's not as extreme as a look as the other divisions.
Okay, awesome. Well, so what's going to happen here today? Dejan told us kind of you're going to do like an overall where you're just going to show a couple off.
So what we'll do is first, I'm going to give an example of how a show is run, because not everybody's been to a show before.
Sure.
So the first thing I do is I give an example of each division of how they're going to judge pre-judging, how it's done, okay? How they're judged, the mandatories, I move them around. We do like a mock show, okay? We just kind of give an example. And then after we do that, I break it down in sections with the coaches, okay? So you'll have bikini, you'll have with their coaches, you have figure in another area with their coaches, you have bodybuilding another with their coaches, and so on and so forth. So everybody will go to their section where they want to learn how to pose, and there'll be qualified pros and coaches there to help instruct them. So it'll be each group's on each side, you know.
And how are you doing on time? It's about 10 till. You got to get going.
Yeah, give me a couple minutes. I got to get
here. Well, let's talk about real quick the coaches that you guys have here. Do you kind of vet the coaches that you have in there? Because obviously they're associated with you. You guys run this clinic, so.
Yeah, I've been in this industry a long time, and I've met a lot of great people. And some of these coaches I've helped turn pro. Some of them they've been pros. Some of them are other coaches in other areas. You know, so we got so it's people I've known in the industry, you know, for the years and years. And they come out and they help, you know. So I have certain ones that come all the time, and then sometimes we get a special one to come out. Some of them are pretty far away, so I won't ask them to come every time. But you know, we've had we've had Olympians here, you know, on a regular basis. You know, pros that have won pro shows, top coaches here. So we get them from all over, and basically they just come out of the kindness of their heart to help with everybody, and help me out with this thing, and to give back to the community, and it's a great experience.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate it. I'm gonna let you get back to work.
Yep, we'll talk again in a little bit. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Guys, it's not too late to come on out. We got a few minutes here. Old school iron. Come on out. Learn how to pose the pros.
Let's do it, guys. All right, we're gonna take a little break here. Got a little mute, but we'll stick around as they get to get into this, guys. So just stay tuned. All right, what's going on, Rick? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great today, man. I'm really excited about the posing clinic. I remember like 3 months ago, text Dejan, like, when's the next posing clinic? So I literally put this on my calendar like 3 months ago. And yesterday was like fucking Christmas Eve. Like, I could not wait to get up in here to start posing. We already did a little pre-pose, so I'm got a little pump going.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so for you guys that don't know, Rick joined us in the Guys Night Warehouse workouts, at the warehouse, I should say, and went through a leg day with Nick. How'd you feel the next couple days after that?
I felt like shit in a good way, like literally, because I don't know if you remember, but that was actually my 3rd leg day in 6 days. So the first leg day was like pretty heavy, like, 315, 405, like a lot of volume. Like, I was expecting to be really sore after that. I wasn't. Like, that's my biggest weakness, is just like really growing my quads. So like 2 days after that,
Anybody
I
that comes
just
through that
went
door, Brittany, make sure they pay.
and I hit quads again and a little bit of hammies. And then that 3rd day, I mean, like, realistically, like that was the most shocking workout. It was like the most forced reps, and it just shows, like, I'll tell people this all the time, like, you don't have to try to go over your head race of a workout. Time under tension, tempo is so important. That really showed me, it's like I haven't been that sore in a long time training legs, honestly.
Yeah, it was a hell of a workout. I know I had a lot of people comment and ask me about it afterwards.
Torture, yeah,
like,
it was rough.
And it's hard to get yourself to go through that when you're by yourself. Do you work out most of the time by yourself?
Most of the time I do work out by myself. It's crazy because for like the past year, I've been trying to find like a workout partner to work out in the morning, because a lot of times, like, I do private security, so like I'll have, like, I don't necessarily work every day, but I'll get called in, I'll have a job. So, I'm working private security, I could be working till 10 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, I might miss a workout. It kind of hurt me my last show. So I'm like, if I wake up at 4 in the morning, just work out before everybody's up. So I finally found a workout partner. We got like 2 workouts in, and he got 6. So it's like, realistically, like, I do work out by myself most of the time, and like, it's just literally, you cannot get that same push. You can't do the force reps on your own. And plus, just mentally, like they say, psychologically, you can only push yourself to about a 6, 7 out of 10 on your own. Like, somebody else there, we all know that we all experience, is what's going to get you to that next level.
Well, and too, like, I mean, especially when you're doing legs or chest or any of that, like, you're putting dumbbells above your head, you're putting weight. I mean, there's nothing worse than having to drop it, take everything off, set back up.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, those extra couple reps when you can have somebody kind of force you through those.
Yeah.
That's just something you're never going to get on your own.
I needed that reminder because I hadn't really had that many I haven't had that force reps in a long time. So I needed that reminder, like the difference it makes. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking to link up with Nick soon. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to do it again.
And Brian Balzano, we'll get him in there too. Like, these guys are fucking monsters. I'm just trying to get to their level. So
awesome. All right, let's talk about BCAAs. This is your sponsor, right?
Yep. So PMD Sports. So I'm sponsored by Fit Life Brands. PMD Sports is like one of their main companies. They got this BCAA charge. So a little funny story about the first time I took this. I got in the mail. This is actually sour peach ring, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'll fuck around and I'll eat some sour peach rings when I'm not supposed to, because I just love the taste. So when I got this, I was so anxious to take it. It was actually, I was kind of getting ready to work out, so I drank my pre-workout, 350 milligrams of caffeine, and I didn't actually like read the label. Like, it says charged on it, but I was like, oh, charged, cool. I did a scoop, and it was like 15, 20 minutes later, I just felt like, not jittery, but it was like, man, like, I just feel so focused. Like, I feel like I had a lot of caffeine. Like, I was like, why do I feel like this? But I didn't know why, but I felt great and a lot of energy. And then, like, I looked at the back of it, and it does have 125 milligrams of caffeine, which makes it great for a pre-workout. For somebody like me that kind of probably should taper back a little bit on caffeine, this is a good replacement, because it only has like probably about a third of what most people are taking. Or you can just take an intro like me when you really want to get that extra buzz too.
Yeah.
So this is very versatile. It has a 2 to 1-to-1 ratio. HICA, alpha, kick, whatever it is. And it's instantized BCAAs too, so that's why you feel it like that.
And how important are BCAAs to your recovery? Is it more so?
So everybody should be taking an intra-workout supplement. So BCAAs is the ideal intra-workout supplement. And actually, Nick taught me, because like sometimes, like, for example, like I had a BCAA supplement and I put it in a shaker cup, and like the first 30 minutes, because it was like nonstop, I really wasn't drinking it. He's like, you should be sipping it after every set. And that made so much sense, and it works. Like, you literally should be taking this after every set, but this is what's going to help you to recover during your workout. So now you got a little bit more out of the next set, and you recover for your next workout the next day, so on and and so forth.
Makes sense. And that's by PMD Sports. And funny story, I know Dejan's sponsored by them as well. I've been taking their pre-workout forever. To me, it's the best in the business as far as
it's really good.
You get that pump. You don't get the jitters. I don't know how, but I've never had the jitters off of it. You get that body warmth when you're on it, and I have some of my best pumps when.
No, it's really clean. That's the difference because like most of the high stim pre-workouts you take, like I tried one, like I forgot my pre-workout one day, and I took somebody's high stim pre-workout. It had about 400 milligrams, and like I took it, and I instantly realized like I was just really shaky, and I started a couple sets, and it was like a big heartbeat, like I was getting palpitations. I'm like, it just wasn't something I was used to. And that's also the difference of like more so natural caffeine. Like for example, this has green tea in it. This also has green coffee bean extract, so that's going to be the difference in like having a really clean product, like all the FitLice brands, like PMD Sports, and even Isotory too. Isotory is amazing too.
Really?
So, yeah.
And I know they're in GNCs. Only some of the GNCs actually carry them though. Mine, luckily, in Medina does. That's where I get it. And in fact, I think right now they're like buy two get one free. But you got your own code, I'm sure.
So I'm glad you said that because this is actually coming out. So this is coming out to a lot of GNCs, especially like the family-owned ones. So if it's not in the stores yet, literally ask them because PMD has a great relationship with GNC. So this is going to be at more and more GNC stores. So you can get this directly at GNC. For Isotory, like my main brand, I do have a code, Rick Diesel. So for that, definitely check it out. They also have great pre-workouts, protein, creatine, everything that you would need.
Awesome. All right, well, I know you got to get ready for the show. So I'll let you get over there, and appreciate you sitting down with us again, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. All right, guys, stay tuned. They're about to get the show going. They're rounding everybody up, as you can see in the second photo there. If you're checking in, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it.
Who here is to be there? It's going to be a great experience. Before we start, there's a few things I'm going to do, okay? So first I'm going to announce some of the coaches that took their time out of their busy schedules and they traveled a long way to come help you guys, okay? So, heading up next to we got IFB Pro, Gary Chaney over here. Let's hear it for him. Adam over here, multi overall winner. He'll be helping out a little bit. Working with classes that you can buy, but we got quite a few. We have IFB Pro Antonio Cummings right over here. We have another treat for you. We have an Olympian. Not only this guy, an IFB Pro USA champion, but he's been on the Olympia stage and he placed in the top 10 in the Mr. Olympia. We got from Columbus, Ohio, Brian Belzano right over there. Working with Dejan, a longtime friend of mine. She owns a gym here in North Olmsted, her and her husband Chuck. And she's a great coach, she's a great pro, she's still a competitor. And if you're ever in the North Olmsted area, definitely look her up. She'll be working with Miss Figure. Linda Crossley. I have to throw Linda Crossley. All right, working with wellness. Okay, we have a couple people here. So where's Jordan at? Jordan's going to be working with wellness. Jordan, your hand. There you are. And also, we have another IFB pro, an Olympian on her way, Alicia Sturkey. She's going to be here to help also working with wellness. So let's hear it from those guys. We have a good friend of mine. She's a great IFB pro. She just won her pro card this past year. We have Melissa right over here. She's going to be working with women's division. All right, bikini. We got some great folks in bikini. So, a great competitor, a great pro. She actually came here the week she turned pro. The week before she turned pro, she showed up and posed at this clinic. And I said to myself, I told her, you're going to turn pro at this next show. She turned pro. She's a great IFB pro. She comes out and helps us all the time. We have the original one from bikini.
You want me to just hold that close to them so they can hear?
Had a great competitive year. She plays the Montaquila International Show. We look for her to get her pro card soon. She has a lot going on and everything else when anything's setting up. You know, you can check out her site. And she'll be helping with probably figure bikini. We have Emily right over here. Emily, go ahead. Tell me a little bit about what you offer on your site.
I help with personal promotion, fanning, and show day prep for women, hair, makeup. So let me know.
Are you coming to closing clinic?
Book it ahead.
All right.
Hi. Don't forget to mark here.
All right, all the way from Seneca, Buffalo, New York, we have Bobby helping out with class physique. You got IB Pro right there. He's helping out. Let's hear it from him. Now we also have some great promoters here that are going to promote their shows. Many years ago, when I was an amateur, and I thought I was a shit, and I went into Erie PA, I was going to get an overall title. There was a man that whooped my ass. He came out here to throw in my face here. We got Ron over here. He promotes the show in Buffalo, New York. Never got to get that rematch. He came all the way from Buffalo, New York. He runs a great show. We took better to this show last year. We were very impressed with this show. He runs it very well. And he's going to talk a little about the show.
Hi everyone, Mike, thanks for having me, appreciate it.
Of course, we're ready to have you.
Again, my name is Ron Camarano. I run the NPC West New York Championships. We're in our 10th year. We also this year too, for all you guys to say no, we'll give you guys some of our postcards on the way out that have the registration, QCOM code, and everything for the show on it. We're bringing back the former Mr. and Miss New York State Championships. This is now the NPC Rochester show. That will be this October. We haven't secured a venue yet, but the dates will be mid-October. So that show is coming back this year. I partnered with IFBB Olympia head judge Steve Weinberger. We'll be putting on that show. Again, like I said, I don't have the date. I think it's October 11th, but if you stay tuned with everything I'm doing with these guys, Mike and Dejan, we'll keep you guys in the loop with everything. But the NPC West New York is on pace to become the biggest show in the Northeast District. Last year we had over 120 competitors and only our 5th year at that venue. It's growing this year. We already have people signing up. Some of the companies I partnered with are helping me promote. Nobody more than Dejan and Mike with some of the stuff we're doing with the clinics here. If you guys need anything throughout this process, say for the next hour, hour and a half, feel free to pull me or IFBB Pro Bob Mazera aside. The show is also conveniently located, calendar-wise, right in between NPC Universe and North Americans. Right smack dab in the middle. 4 weeks past Universe, 4 weeks before North Americans. So whether you need to qualify or re-qualify, keep the show in mind. The venue's great. It's an indoor-outdoor rink or indoor-outdoor facility where the rinks are set up for when hockey's over, for seating, for expos. We're going to get the glass ceiling with 16-foot fans everywhere. The competitors and the audience are not sweating in the middle of July. You guys won't see a better venue for an amateur show than the one I hold my contest at. So I really hope we'll see you guys out there. Come in contact with me before we leave today. At least to follow me and Bobby on social media so you guys can stay in tune with everything that's coming. Maybe you guys want to come out for a great time. The venue alone has canoeing, ziplining, rock climbing, a bar, a nightclub, everything, 2-3 floors right on the venue. So not only do we set you guys up for the day. Prejudging ends at 12, the event shows at 4. You don't have to leave. Everything is right there. It's a great experience. So if you're not going to compete, if you know someone that's going to compete or not, come out and visit the show. I can guarantee you guys will talk about it and it'll be a great experience.
I highly recommend his show. This year was the first year we took some competitors out this show. He had me guest poser. It was a great experience. The lighting was amazing. You had natural lighting hitting you from the ceilings, and the lighting was perfect. We get some great stage shots. If you compete, you're gonna be some of the best shots you'll see. He had Tony Sprigla doing the photography. He's a great photographer. The venue was great. It's in a great, beautiful area, like the Buffalo Seneca area.
Right in the harbor. The photo shoots in between, after, before the shows. You guys are on the actual water by the harbor.
It's an amazing venue. That's why after we went out there, I told Dejan, I said, we got to get more competitors out to this show. We got to start promoting it because it is a great show and it was a great experience. And I highly recommend it. Bobby's got cards he's going to pass out to everybody. You can check it out. And again, make sure you follow him on social media. And if you can, make that party. If you get ready to do some shows this year, consider doing that show because I highly recommend it. That's why he called him out here. So let's hear it for Ron. Another good friend of mine here. You guys all know him. Many of you are already prepping for his show right now in 6 weeks from today. An Ohio legend, was a top NPC competitor, competing against some of the best in the world, and had a very hard time in bodybuilding. And now he's a promoter that we all know and love. Promotes 2 great natural shows every year. My good friend, Mr. Dave Lehman. Let's hear about the show.
First off, I gotta thank this Ohio legend. Going ready for another Olympia, correct? This guy's fantastic. He's been a friend of mine since your teenage years, and it's been a pleasure working with you guys and Dejan. You guys are in the exact place you need to be to get to look your absolute best. So you've got the best coaches right here. So big hand for these guys, all right? April 5th and October 18th, just let you know, October 18th is our fall date. But April 5th is going to be our NPC Natural Ohio. It's an open event. As you guys know, we're giving out beautiful big giant trophies that we're famous for, the cookies backstage. We even got the belts now for all the winners and stuff, including Masters winners, including teenage and collegiate winners, gym bags for all the competitors. We're going to hook you guys up as always. We also have the new fit model division. So if you get on my website, we're having 2 classes for the open, 1 for novice, 1 for masters, 35 and over. So we're going to do what we can to build that thing up as much as we can. Of course, we have all the bikini classes. So let me see how show hands people are actually doing the show.
Who's doing Dave's show coming up?
Woohoo!
All right, let's hear it for it.
Thank you. Anything you let me know, we've got tickets available now. And again, it's April 5th. Avon Touring Arts, our $18.5 million facility. We've got 23 booth spaces, and we have 2 left, and we're completely and totally sold out. Thank goodness. So if there's anything more you need from us, let me know. We've got Gilco Productions that are doing the filming and your personalized filming and video needs and photo needs. Also, Amir Moran is going to be there from the NBCNewsOnline.com. So you've got everything you could possibly want to cover for social media. And if there's anything else you need from us, do not hesitate to ask. It's DaveLieberman.com. Tickets entries in 3 weeks. We rock with the late fees kick in. So by March 15th, after that, there is late fees, okay? And also, hotels filling up fast. So go stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, and I'm telling you, that is where we have our mandatory check-ins on Friday. So you want to stay there for sure. And anyway, we've got suits, shoes, everything you need is on my website. Let me know, and we'll hook you guys up. Thank you so much for your time, Mike. Thank you. Of course.
Anybody that's not competing in Dave's show, it's local, it's in Avon, Ohio, it's a great experience. I highly recommend everybody here and let Gary Binham go watch the show. It's a great run show. It's one of the best run shows in the country. I'm at shows every weekend throughout the year, and he runs one of the best shows I've been at. I highly recommend it. It's local. Come out there, check it out. You got a lot of vendors. You got a good show. You got a great venue. So check it out, guys.
And I've got entries and posters with me, so if anybody needs any, I've got it for your gym. Just flag me down. I got a pile of them. Okay, guys, and I'll see you at the Arnold Classic next week, too. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you.
One more thing, guys. My good friend Dejan Caputo runs the North Coast Championship. Then you're getting ready for that show. It's May 24th. He wasn't able to be here today, but it's local. It's in Streetsboro, Ohio. It's a fantastic venue. It's a fantastic show. It's run very well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sit these flyers back here by Brittany. And if you need an entry form, if you want a flyer to see what it's all about, come check it out. We've got about 12 weeks. Many people there prep for that show, do the show. So I'm going to sit these back here by Brittany, okay? All right, so let's get started, guys. The way we What's that?
Oh. Also, any of you girls interested in getting, and guys interested in getting suits, we have Kayla back there from SS Custom Suits. Kayla, raise your hand. Right back there. Go talk to her. She makes amazing suits. I've known her and Steve for many, many years. You'll get a great suit at a great cost. She does a great job. And the thing is, she'll make sure it fits properly. You know, she's been doing this a long time. When you order a suit online, you're really taking a chance. Because that suit comes in, it might not fit. Your show's coming up, you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Then you gotta send the suit back, hope they'll send it back. She'll take care of it right away for you. She'll fix it, make sure there's no stress. We don't need stress going to the show. She'll give you a reasonable rate, and she'll give you a beautiful suit. I highly recommend, go back there and check her out, guys and girls, if you get a chance. All right, Joel. Also, we'll be giving a giveaway at the end. We'll talk about that later. But first, let's show you guys how a show is run. We're gonna give an example of how a show is run, and then we're gonna section it off in certain areas so you can practice with your group. Okay, so first we're gonna show how the show is run. So why don't we start with some bodybuilders here? Okay, so let's get Brian Balzano. Why don't you come on out here? Let's get Rob, come on out here. Let's get Nick, come on out here. Enrique, come on out there.
Don't hide him. Don't hide him.
Rick Eagle, come on out there.
Yeah, you're not gonna hide.
Does anybody else want to jump in? You want to jump in?
Hey, ball. Kind of even left just that ash. I got a shot through here. Thank you.
John, come on out here. Aaron, come on out here. Leo, get out here. All right, Antonio, get out. We're just going to make a huge group. Bob, you want to hop in here? You don't have to walk in. All right, guys. So the way this works, at pre-judging is where really all your judging is done. Okay, the only thing they judge in the evening is for the overall title after you win your class. So if you want to make your mark that morning, that's where all that hard work you put in, when you get down pre-judging in the morning, that's where you're judged. That's the most important thing, is your comparisons. So I'm going to show you how it works. In bodybuilding, what happens is they do a call-out, okay? Your goal is always to be in the first call-out. Your first call-out is generally being compared for your top spots. So we'll say this is our first
I know. I was hoping everybody was going to be on the wall, but
guys, line up on the line here.
I couldn't move them.
yeah.
Now what the judge will do is they'll call man.
No, because I didn't.
As a plug, plugged in.
You'll have a number, and if they call your number.
I could have done that, but I would have had to put plugged in. It would have never worked.
Because they're comparing, okay? And
My phone could be
not
doing
always
it,
the
though.
case, but generally the person in the middle
over with
is the
Nick
person that
somewhere.
you compare for first, but doesn't mean they're going to get first, okay? I'm moving these guys around a little bit. Now you got a great lineup here, man. We got some pros up here. We got some national level competitors here. So this is a hell of a lineup to see at opposing play. All right, everybody get in the front, relax. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to combine classic and bodybuilding together for the sake of time. Spread out, guys. Give yourself room. All right, let me get Nick and Brian Balzano will take places. Rick and Rob change places. Leo and Enrique change places. All right, now whoever's on the end, I'll give you a little tip. If you're on the end, angle towards the head judge so he can see you, so you're not blinded by it. Because they're not going to take the time to go like this. So angle so they can see you, you got to make your mark. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Got some serious muscle up here. Quarter turn to the right. Face front. Brian, we like those trunks, man. Front double bicep. I forgot to mention, before we go any further, helping out in bodybuilding all the way from Cairo, Egypt, my good friend Sam the Pharaoh Darius. All right, front last breath. Side chest.
Guys, you got a top 10 Olympian up here. Let's hear it for him. Either side tricep.
Thank you, guys.
Face front. Abdominals in one thigh. It's no fair. I think Brian has 3 legs on one. Let's see your favorite, most muscular. All right, now for all you classic guys, let's see a classic pose. Make one up, Brian. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Let's hear it for you guys. Let me all look great. All right. Let's get some figure girls out here. Let's get Melissa out here. IFB Pro Linda Crossley.
Aaron, I'm gonna have you check this. Oh, I got the thing right there. So, the closest thing. You're going live with it?
Where am I facing? Oh no.
That's the other camera. There you go. Stay there.
Anybody else that wants to jump in
I gotta move around for photos.
Anybody want to jump in on figure?
So, you want to stay here?
Where's Nick at?
Nick?
It's a lot of team.
Kept going on and all.
There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Appreciate you letting us know that, David.
They're trying to give me the help. Coach.
Yeah, go ahead. Move it.
Dejan, what do you want to do as far as like getting people to? We're gonna do like a little interview with people. Another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put their name into a drawing. We're gonna give away a pair of the grip socks.
The very first two people I was definitely recommend is Ron and Dave Weedman. We're talking about their shoes because they're following.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
So I would say go get them. Maybe start with Ron. Cool. And just do small things, ask them about the show. Perfect. And then one of those two ones that I think would be good for them.
That'd be great. Cool. Okay, we can do that. Yep. And then what else was I gonna ask you? I was gonna ask you something else I can't remember. Cool. Yeah, we can do that. So all right. So I'll go pull the two promoters. We'll talk to them first.
All right, that's cool. Let's do one at a time.
Yeah. That's what
I'm gonna go do photos. Yeah.
Because then we'll need another seat.
Can I do another chair?
Yeah, somewhere. All right, guys, we got Dave Lieberman here, as well as a couple other promoters, so we're going to have them join us up here in just a minute. Stay tuned. What's that?
Ron's gonna come over right now.
All right.
Let's get,
did you find it?
Maybe I can steal this chair. You want to scoot that a little bit? Yeah. Gonna put him in the middle?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Are we? Have you said anything live, or do we have people watching, or what?
Yeah, it's kind of changed back and forth. We've been live for 2 hours, so
okay.
Obviously that affects it.
People are popping in and off or whatever. Yeah, we'll repost it too. We usually get more views like after we post it, like on YouTube and stuff. So cool. Yeah. If you want, just kind of sit right here, and then we'll put you behind the desk here. We got all the cameras and set up.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna be walking.
Give me just a sec. Oh, you're fine, bud.
Cool. Got this little chair. I need a phone book.
All right, let me make sure we got audio and everything on. Cool. I'm Will, by the way.
Will, I'm Ron. Nice to meet you.
Ron, pleasure to meet you. Yeah, dude.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously this is our first time here at the posing clinic. I'm sure you're familiar with it, though. Obviously, with your
First
relationship.
time at this posing clinic, but with my relationship with a lot of the guys and the pros that are here. I kind of knew what to expect. This is a big turnout to start the season. Over 100 people for the very first one. I mean, so many of these people are here aren't even prepping yet. I mean, these things will absolutely get bigger as the season goes on and people become more nervous that they're not ready and they want to get the advice. So it's a great way to start the season for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a huge turnout for sure.
Yeah, so maybe what's a little background with you in bodybuilding? You've competed before, and
yeah. So I started competing in 2005. I won my first overall, the NPC Mr. Buffalo in 2000. No, NPC Tri-State was my first in 2009. NPC Buffalo in 2011. A couple of other overalls. I competed against Mike in 2010. I finally did my last contest. It was a Gary Udit show in 2013. So it's been about 12 years. I had a lot of success. I never actually made it to the national stage. I won 5 or 6 overalls out of the 7 or 8 shows I did, but really found a passion for coaching.
Yeah.
I'm a father of 6, and I have a couple businesses that really consume a lot of my time. So, as you guys know, being a competitor is a very, very self-absorbed choice you make, and a lot of things take a back seat to.
It's a full-time job.
To competing. So.
Yeah, we just had that conversation with Mike. I mean, it's one thing to obviously have 6 kids.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, you have businesses that you're overseeing, and you can be traveling, you can be here, you can be there, and like the amount of work it goes to planning those days when you're traveling or when you're visiting or when you're working, it's it's a lot.
But there's also parts that motivate this part of the business as well. Like even just promoting shows and spreading the word and like still having, you know, my hands in such a large part of the industry and the demographic I'm from. The motivation to promote shows comes not just from the passion to see people be able to do what they love to do, but also even just as another source of income. This is another job for me, you know, promoting with 6 kids and all 6 attend private school, so you can imagine what that tuition bill's like. So
yeah, and are you in New York too?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So there's motivation that comes from everywhere, but when you love doing something, the work that goes into, you know, making everything you do as successful as you're capable of making it, there's still a sense of pleasure and enjoyment. Like I came out today with my top client, IFBB Pro, Bob Mazzara. He made the trip out with me today. He's over there as one of the coaches. And again, I'm working today, but I'm here with one of my top client, one of my closest friends, talking about my family and meeting great people. So
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And I think we've talked about that too. I mean, this is a community that obviously everybody's here to help each other. And it's funny because the stereotypical bodybuilder is, you know, self-absorbed jerk. There's all these different things that go around.
It's pretty consistent with what you just said.
Yeah.
It turns out.
But
Doesn't check out.
They're some of the most genuine, hard-working people on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's like a mutual respect. Like when you see somebody that has built like a really good physique, you almost have an instant respect for that person because you know the work that it took to get to that. You know what I mean? And I don't care what you've done or what you've taken, what you've eaten, whatever. I mean, your genetics, you still had to put that work in.
Right.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about your show. So you got a show coming up?
Yeah, so the NPC Western New York Championships, July 19th, 2025 in Buffalo, New York. It's the largest growing show in the entire district. Last year we had 120 competitors. We're growing by about 20% per year because of you know, guys like Mike and Dejan helping me promote. We show everyone a really different experience when they come out to our show. It's not your typical, no offense to people that choose to do that, but it's not your typical theater or high school auditorium or even banquet facility where everything's, you know, brought in manually, stages, lighting. You know, the venue is incredible. It's a floor and a half. You got seating up top, seating down low. The ceilings are glass, so you get natural lighting, so you'll never argue that there's not a better natural lighting than you'll get on that stage because there's LED lighting and then there's this glass ceilings. There's 16-foot fans attached to the ceiling, so the crowd is comfortable in the middle of the summer having it be a sort of an outdoor, it's an indoor-outdoor facility.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
The athletes are getting hit with those fans, so they're not sweating even though the sides to the building are exposed. You're right on the canal, you know, so photo shoots for the photographers that come in are great because these athletes are drooling over getting their picture taken on a rock, you know, with the lake behind them and things like that. The venue also offers competitors and their families in between events. We all know if you've competed, sometimes the crappiest time of the show is when the suspense sets in that you don't know how you placed and you're trying to kill time. Coming from an out of town as a traveler, what do you do between pre-judging and the night show?
Especially in Buffalo.
So I put them together. My morning show, you know, ends usually I try to end promptly by noon. The evening contest starts at 4.
Okay.
So everybody pretty much stays on site. There's for their families and friends or whatever. There's a restaurant, there's a bar, there's jumbotron, sports on everywhere. There's canoeing, there's rock climbing, there's zip lining, there's an amusement park, there's a Ferris wheel, and all within 10 minutes you get the canal side there too, which gives you everything to do from an entertainment standpoint in the city of Buffalo, whether you go to one of the top restaurants or where the Sabres play or where the Bills are going to be, you know, doing the promoting for their new stadium. It's all in one-stop shop.
So you
awesome.
and you run the traditional format, the prejudging in the morning, finals in the evening type of thing. Yeah, because some shows are moving, they started doing it in COVID, but they do all the men in the morning and all the women in the evening, which is interesting. I don't hate it, but I do. There is something cool about coming back and doing your routine and doing and getting your, you know, coming to finals and stuff. So
I think it's an interesting shift because women and men were always part of the sport together. I mean, my training partner of 16 years is a female.
Sure.
It's not something I would do unless my hand was forced. I actually like the fact that, like, you know, other than maybe having separate setups in the back for posing and for makeup and for hair and tanning and stuff like that, for all obvious reasons, the actual competition taking place, like some of the best girls that I've met and some of my top clients I've met while I was competing backstage, pumping up, getting to see what everybody's doing, hearing information that's getting shed, you know? And then usually traditionally women bring bigger crowds. So if you got your open men, which is much smaller now than it used to be because of the rise of classic and physique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you happen to put them last, like all the overalls I won, being a super heavyweight, I was the last person of the night to perform, the last person to get crowned, the last person to go. So now if you did that with open men, after the girls were done, everyone would leave, and they're performing for a crowd of 50 people.
Yeah.
So I put my open men first. So they're the crowd that they bring, which is smaller, hopefully stays, but you bring the people that make the biggest crowd that gives every competitor a sense of importance on stage. If you put them at the end, and I think if you separate men and women, you also lose that component where competitors pay a lot of money to compete.
Sure.
And the reward, sometimes you won't call it expensive, or you won't call it as many things as competitors do. If after the show's over, everyone that came to watch you had a good experience, you got a nice award, you were recognized for any achievement you had that day or before that day.
Yeah.
If the promoter stays in contact with the competitors as they enter, leading up to the show date, is there, anything you want me to mention? Is there something you need me to do for you? If you're bringing in a family of 8 from Pittsburgh and you're coming all the way to Buffalo, I have contacts with, hotel owners everywhere, things like that. You make it a great experience so people get the return on their investment.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny, like hearing it from a family side of things too, when you talk about like the guy who's competing or the woman who's competing, like they've already put so much time into it, sitting at a stage all day, they're talking to other people that do what they do. The time goes by fast.
Yeah.
Right? I would imagine you sit there and have a 3-hour conversation between 2 or 3 people. You don't even realize. You're like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
While as if you bring in your family and your kids, obviously they want to support you, they want to be there, but they don't necessarily want to sit there all day and listen to you have all these conversations. So the fact that there's so much to do around the area really allows a competitor, I would think, to be like, hey, let's make it a weekend getaway.
And that's
They get more out of it.
And that makes it awesome.
The nice part from a competitor standpoint for you doing it the traditional way, which I like a lot too, is like, number one, as a competitor, you diet for 18 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever it is, to get on stage, and they get you, and you're done by noon. Like, I just feels bad. You know what I mean? And then so now that you have the traditional prejudging and finals, you have a whole day where it's your day, man. You look great. You get to be on stage a bunch. Your family and friends get to see you, and then it also gives a good taste for all the people that maybe they came for a bikini girl, but they've never seen a bodybuilding show. You know what I mean? Oh shoot, this is what the guys look like. Oh wow, this is what it's about. I can kind of, you get a little bit more of a.
Or how about just for the sake of social media now, or your website as a promoter, if the guys are done in the morning, they have no reason to come back and take overall photos with the females at night.
Yeah.
Right.
When my competitors come off stage, my wife and my expeditors take their overall awards. They have to give them back to make sure they don't leave. So at the end of the night, if they want their award, they have to stay until the show's over. So I can line up everybody on stage and take a photo together for the NPC office, for my own website.
Yeah, of course.
The competitors, then after the fact, some of them are, they're hungry or they want to leave. They're always happy after the fact when they get those overall photos emailed back to them. There's a picture of them and all the winners on stage still looking good with their tan on, with their trophy in front of them. Otherwise, a lot of those people, are going to take off. The morning, that would stink. Like if, the girls came back to compete at night and there wasn't, none of the male competitors were out in the stands watching. When the open and classic guys are done and the girls are going to my contest, many of them are in the crowd sitting with their fans watching. It creates an event rather than just a competition.
Yes.
Those two can coexist.
Yeah. So that was the next thing I was going to ask you too. Is you mentioned trophies. What type of trophies do you give out? Do you do the medals? Do you do
medals and cups?
Medals and cups.
Yeah, just real different. Some people give out swords. Some people give out statues. Like monumental things. We started doing cups 10 years ago, like large cups with handles, almost not
like a Stanley Cup, but
Stanley Cup with the handles, with a big base. So the overall winners get cups. Class winners get large medals that are more, goldish in color.
Yeah.
And then the second through fifth get slightly smaller medal, but nothing noticeable, but more so just the tag on the back that you can't see, lets you know what place you got.
Sure. Gotcha. Yeah.
And every competitor you talk to, every promoter has a different opinion on what the awards mean. Some people say, well, if you get a novice award that's a medal, and you get an open award that's a trophy, and then you get an overall award that happens to be like 6 feet tall, it looks better on Instagram. Or if you just place first in novice, second in open, this and that, you have 3 different awards regardless of the side. Again, it makes you look like you just won everything. But at the same time, it's also a fact where if competitors, after they've competed once or twice, they want everyone to see what they look like and be proud of their physique. But no one likes telling anyone they lost if they're expecting to hear they won.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and to the regular person, the guy that's competing as your friend or family member, like you just expect him to win because he looks great compared to what you might look like, and then
you could
you got 6 out of 6.
That you've seen, look like garbage, but you think whoever you are at this, talking, you look great. How did you lose? You know, but yet, for maybe guys like us that have been around the circuit long enough, we're looking like that's 8 weeks out.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's beast lead. He's not stage lead.
Right, but to the untrained eye or just the average happy supporter, they're going to think Babe looks awesome, and that conversation stinks. And at that point, do you lie and say, I didn't win? Well, no, you didn't beat anybody. You got 6 out of 6.
Yeah, 6 out. That's always a funny thing. I see a lot of people post online that after they win a show, or they do a show like, oh, I got 3rd place, and then out of 3, good job, congratulations.
So I was gonna say, does that happen a lot? Because I haven't been around the competitive side very long, but like I see, like I'm in any competition lately. My daughter does competitive cheer. There's like 3 competing teams that are in that class because there's so many classes now, and it's got to be the same when it comes to bodybuilding. Because
I was just talking to Dave Lieberman about how he gives out different awards for different classes, like novice, open, true novice, masters, and I liked his reasoning behind what he does, and then I always will think on my end of it, okay, what is there a downside? The only downside is if anyone goes to your show year after year, you start to build up a reputation or have a tradition of how you run your show that could be different than someone else's. You don't need to tell anybody what you got. They know if you don't have this, you didn't win.
Right.
You got that, you lost.
You lost.
Well, and from an outsider, like I would think, like when it comes to competitions, like each show, like there's like there's something about that trophy. Like there's something that segregates that show, and the least amount of trophies you have tells me that it's a craving to want that one more, right? So and I will talk to Dave, but if he's got all these different awards for all these different things, but what's the one that I want? Or if I'm at a show that only gives away 1/3 of the awards, it's going to mean that much more. Like as a real competitor, you're like, I got to compete at that show and I got to place because.
Well, I'll give you another example that would be a little bit more exclusive to me compared to a lot of other promoters, and only for the simple fact of how it lands in the calendar year. My contest is strategically planned smack in the middle between NPC Universe, which is the first week of July, and North American Championships, which is the last week of August. So I go 3 to 4 weeks past one, 3 to 4 weeks before the other every year. I'm right in the middle for qualification standards and for requalification standards. I get a lot of Universe competitors that place outside the top 5 that need to requalify again.
They start already in shape, they do it, that way they can just be ready for next year.
You get a post-Universe competitor that comes in salty, even if they win, they're just doing it to requalify because they placed 8th at Universe. They leave their trophy backstage in the pump up and they didn't bring it home.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but that's
or if somebody just comes off stage that realizes, your mom's not judging you, your sister's not judging you, you're not judging you, and I, the promoter, are not judging you. You are judged by the judges. They're the only people that can place you where you go. So if you disagree with it, you talk with them after the show or write them an email. Don't get salty towards
competitors or
promoters or anyone, and it happens sometimes.
I was going to say, is that
a lot of time and effort? And I get it. I was there. I competed, so I understand. Sometimes it stinks. The feeling stinks. But the sportsmanship part of it too. Sometimes when you got 120 people at your show, you can guarantee there's going to be 10 awards left backstage simply because people don't agree with what he says.
That's to me that was always a pet peeve of mine. I really hate and that goes to our community. Like when I've competed, I've always had everybody backstage is always super supportive, right? And if I got beat, I was happy for the guy that beat me. Yeah, and if I beat somebody, they were happy I won, whatever. You always had a respect for that person, and you never, even if you didn't agree with it, you didn't get mad at the athlete. If anything, you were upset with the judges because they're the ones that placed you. And this is a subjective sport. It's not like basketball where he made the shot or he didn't. Right. It's hey, I like that guy. I like his legs look great. You might get a whole different panel of judges. They might judge it totally different.
It's the look you get. Who you're placed next to.
Could
change the opinion of someone's opinion on your physique.
Well, I mean, imagine even the lighting, the way that lighting could be at one side of the stage versus the other.
Judges can learn over time to look past that. And at the NPC level, these judges have to be qualified and signed off on by higher ups. Like you have to test judge so many times before they actually even take your scorecard into account. Typically, the head judge at NPC qualifiers, they don't do any judging until the overall. That's the way they keep it fair. What they're doing is making sure, like say the judges are out in front of us. Us three are competing. One judge has you 8 out of 8. The other judge has me first out of 8. There's a huge problem. They throw them out. And that's the way you stay fair, because it is a subjective sport.
Sure.
You don't know who's on the panel sometimes, if they have clients in the show. It's a great way to keep politics out of it. You just throw out the high and the low score.
Makes sense.
And you go through it. If the head judge needs to make any final decisions, they do. Other than that, the whole panel typically just judges, the overall to make sure they get it right. And I think the NPC does a very good job of preparing their judges to make the best calls that fall in line with the protocols and what is expected of each division, because there's so many divisions now. And like you said, it's such a subjective sport. You're not going to get it 100% right 100% of the time, but you signed up for this.
Yeah, right. You know that.
signed
Yeah.
up for it.
And here's the cool thing about any show you do, yours, any NPC show you do, the judges will give you email feedback, and they will tell you why you placed where you placed. So if you got second to a guy and you don't understand it, you'll get an email shortly after, or sometimes you even talk to them at the show, and they'll say, hey, yeah, look, we was tight. I had a guy at the Indiana show last year, the Pro-Am. I had a girl in the bikini girl in the Pro show, and I had a guy in the Classic, and I didn't understand why we lost in Classic or whatever, and so it was close, and the head judge actually sought us out before we could talk to him, and he was like, listen, dude, it was Bill, and Bill was like, it was close. We were splitting hairs. We went with him because he was just a hair tighter in conditioning, and I went back and looked at the photos, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that, And I'm a little biased, obviously, I want my guy to win, but, it is what it is.
Another thing that people have to understand, too, as a coach, you being a coach, I'm a coach as well, when we're looking at our competitors on stage, we're looking at specific things. We're looking at things we want to see improve. We're looking at them at their best. We've also seen them
at their worst.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
How many shows have you done where you looked your best that prep at pre-judging or the night show? I know me. I don't know any.
Yeah.
Every show
week
I
out,
did, usually a week or 2 out.
Yeah.
When you right after a cheat meal, when you're not really counting your sodium or nothing like that, you're letting it all hit the tissue with the electrolytes, and you're just popping. And then you never know if you're good. So us as coaches, we've seen the ultimate highs, the moderate highs, and then some of the lows. And what we're doing is we can be so impressed with what we did as coaches. Wow, his glutes were hard and there was no striations just 4 days ago. Now they look like they were carved from stone because we bled the water right.
Yeah.
And you thought that was enough to put the slam dunk on, but then you turn them around, and where they judge a lot in the show is how deep are your cuts in your abs and your quads. And if the cuts are deeper there, although from the guy next to him, we're looking at one thing that we just couldn't believe we did.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, we really nailed that. Yeah. And then you don't look at the big picture. I get that 100%. And even there's a lot that goes into it too. I had a girl at she competed at the PA Muscle Show last year, and she looked really good 2 weeks out, incredible. And then as the show got closer, she started having a little bit of relationship problems. And then she had her sister died the week of the show, right?
Oh,
so cortisol levels are through the roof, and there was nothing I could do. I mean, I'm feeding her, doing everything. I'm
actually, you do anything drastic, she could end up even worse.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And I'm mentored by a guy named Morgan Rice out of Pittsburgh, and he's my coach, and I've worked under him for 2 years now, and. Yeah, I'm like, what do I do? He's like, there's nothing you can do. Literally, her cortisol levels are high. There's nothing you can do. You put her on the best you can. You do land the plane nice and easy, and hope for the best. And she didn't look her best. She looked way better 2 or 3 weeks out. But sometimes there's stuff out of your control, or even just your first show, you get the nerves, you're stressed out, whatever, blah blah blah.
Well, I was gonna say all that stuff affects your hormones, all that stuff affects your levels, but at the same point in time, there's not a specific science that says this is exactly what you do for every single person, right? Because
wouldn't have jobs.
Right.
So there's something we could download or print off Google that would say, if you're lean enough to do this the last 72 hours, you can't be off.
Right.
It doesn't work. But the biggest issue that I've had with competitors, and again, I'm someone that I don't remember, 8 shows and maybe 5 overalls. I did very well as an amateur in competing at some of the best NPC shows in the district. I never peaked the day. Never. I don't even think once. Every show I looked better 3 to 12 days out at some point. And my coach for 6 years was George Farah, who at the time was one of the best in the world.
Legend.
When I was working with George, he had 6 of the top 10 in the world. He had Kai Green, he had Branch Warren, he had Dexter Jackson, he had Tony Freeman, he had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So I was working with him. So I knew George was on point with his stuff. And it's just the way it works. But what I've noticed as a trainer now, I still keep good contact with George, and we talk about this, is that too many coaches try to make something greater, or something awesome more awesome. And if you all of a sudden try to completely reinvent the wheel or change, if you've been eating chicken and rice your whole diet, why would you think steak and potato would be the way to go the night before?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just common sense. Or if you've done really well, looking dry as a bone, the whole prep, the last 3 weeks, where you wake up every morning and it looks like you literally bone dry stomach, your cheeks are sunken in, and you can see the freaking veins in your hands coming right out of your skin. But your salt is at 6 grams a day and you're drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Why would you knock your 6 grams of salt down to 1 and cut your water out the day before?
Right.
Well, yeah, it might work, but what if it doesn't? What you know works. And as a coach, I try really hard to have confidence in the process that's taking place throughout that prep, and each prep is different with every client, rather than just completely saying, you know what, I'm going to try to get them a little dry. There's no way that eating
Let's
this
give
much
them
salt and this much water that they can't get a little drier if I give them something to make them go to the bathroom. Well, how do you know that's going to work?
Yeah, you do a diuretic the night before. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this where I see somebody that like looks good, and then they're like, oh, they're trying to push the envelope a little bit. It's like, oh, we're gonna give you a Diazide tonight, and then the next morning they look flat as shit and they can't come back. And it's like, just land the plane. John Meadows used to talk about that a lot. Like when you're in peak week, you shouldn't be making a lot of drastic changes. You might adjust water a little bit, you might adjust sodium a little bit, but it's very, very small changes.
And I think it's safe to say there are changes that need to be made. But
sure.
If they need to be drastic, I just don't know how you can convince me that you're where you need to be if they're drastic.
Correct.
Yeah. It should be minor, and if you have a good coach, I mean, some coaches that I've seen, in my opinion, are ridiculous with wanting photos and weight every 3 hours.
Yeah, that's insane.
But I could see morning and night. Weigh yourself at bedtime. If you go to bed and you're 267 pounds and you wake up at 256, you can assume that you're holding some water.
Right.
So throughout that week, if you can get it down to where you're going to bed at, say, 262 and you're waking up at 257, that's a little more reasonable for what you know your body needs and what it can excrete. And you time it, but nothing's drastic. You're just working towards something.
Yeah, we've always, anytime I've competed or any person I've ever put on the stage, my goal has always been, let's get your fasted morning look to be the look we want on stage, and we just try to hold that. We try to hold that through the day and keep that look,
So would you say then, because obviously every time, how many clients do you usually take on?
At one point, I had over 100 at one point.
Oh, wow.
I put 46 people in one show.
Wow. Holy
46 in one show.
That was a fun week.
I thought I was going to have like 8.
And that's not now. Like right now, I'm prepping 11 athletes for the NPC Mr. Buffalo show on April 19th. I have a pretty good team. My wife is an amazing woman. She used to compete. Now she helps me run the businesses and takes care of the kids. But Bobby, my top client, helps me a lot with the posing. I have a couple other really top amateurs that have been competing for a while that I coach that help me. The most time-consuming thing is the posing.
Right.
And it's the most frustrating thing because you can teach someone to pose as good as you can and they can nail every pose at check-in and get on stage and look like they don't know
what they're doing.
Yeah, they get the nerves hit them, whatever.
And a lot of it too, and I'm not advising other coaches to change what they do, but I'm going to give a recommendation is make sure the closer they get to the show, which is totally unconventional, that's what I do and it's at work, is less and less time with the mirror. Instead of 100% posing 2-3 weeks out with the mirror. 3-4 days out.
You don't have a mirror on stage. Yep.
Just the video. Let them watch the video.
Yeah.
Do it again. Video. Do it again. Take the mirror. You don't have a mirror on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
They become so dependent because new lines are coming in and they're zeroing in on things they didn't see a few weeks ago. They're forgetting about other things. I had a guy who's so happy right now that his hamstring quad separation on his side chest is popping.
That IT band coming out. Yeah.
So he's like staring at that. Oh, before I know, this shoulder's up here, that shoulder's down there. He looks narrow. I said, what are you doing?
Yeah, get wide, bro. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just one example of what happens when good things can make something go not so good.
Absolutely.
I do that anyways because, and when I do all my posing practice, I work with the guys that was Daniel Cuffey, and I'm sure you probably heard of him. He's like one of the top posing coaches in the world. But he has me record my sessions. Every day I do a posing session. I do 3 rounds, and I record it, watch it back, fix it. Record it, watch it back, fix it. Record it, watch it back, fix it.
That's the way to do
it. And I could go back and look at those videos and see my adjustments and see, okay, that was good or that was bad or whatever. But I'm not in the mirror. I can't see how I look. I don't know, anything. So that's the way to go.
The biggest piece of advice I can give to a young coach that has talent and that has talent that he's coaching is the closer you get to the show, spend less time in front of the mirror. There's no possible way, more mirror time closing in on on show day can help you. Camera time, yes. Coaching, yes. Feedback, yes. But different competitors look at different things in the mirror. They don't just close their eyes and hope for the best. They're looking at something.
Yeah. Well, I guess that goes back to these posing clinics, because then you have, and obviously the people that he had call out in front of everybody have experience, they've done it before. But that is a great way, I would think, to get better at what you do, because if you're doing it out there in front of everybody, it's no different than you're being judged by everybody in here, and you're doing it without a mirror. You're doing it from memory.
Well, if you work with a good posing coach, what they're going to do is they're going to give you cues, right? So like Daniel gives me this cue on a side chest to pick up my front toe, so that way my weight is on the heel of my foot, my back foot, front toe of my big toe of my back foot, right? So I pick up my back toe, the weight's on my heel, and I'm able to focus on like using that front leg as like a stabilizer, get that IT band out, and so now. When I'm posing without a mirror, I have to think about the cues that he told me. Okay, I can't see myself, so I got to say, okay, pick the toe up, put the weight on the heel, push that adductor into the hamstring, make sure that I'm getting a good side. Like you go through all those motions.
Right. He made another great point too, and I even tell this. And if I approach a client or a client approaches me and inquires about my services, and for whatever reason, if it happens to be price or proximity or anything like that makes them maybe go a different route, I will always still give them a piece of advice to go on, because I still want them to be sold on me as someone that knows what they're talking about, and I just want what's best for the sport. And if you decide not to hire me, I don't wish bad on you. I wish great on you.
Yeah, of course.
I just hope you're happy with your decision. Is the first thing that you can do when you're talking to a posing coach, if they're not teaching you from, let's say, open bodybuilding, for all 7 mandatory poses and any type of accessory pose to any mandatory pose that you want to alter. If they're not teaching you to pose from the toes up, they're no good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ground up. Build it up from the ground. Yep, absolutely.
Every single pose, no matter which pose it is, starts from the ground. And if you watch even some of the pros, that's how you can tell they're nervous. If you've watched them pose over and they're on the Olympia stage, if they're so focused on holding in their gut that their legs are going flat and hard, they're not posing from the ground up. They're obsessing over something they're self-conscious about, and a lot of times, nowadays it happens to be they don't know what their stomach goes.
Sure.
Yeah. So I use pros as an example because that's the one place you would think you never see it. It
see it all the time.
Still.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. Actually.
Yeah.
At the pro level, and it's because there's so much emphasis now with athletes holding in the gut. Even if you do have a belly that sticks out on stage because you happen to eat a lot or you lift heavy or you wear a belt a lot. You can hold it in, but you got to practice.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Get your vacuums in the morning. Make sure.
Make sure. Be trained to be kept in.
Watch your transitions. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: as different categories come out and stuff like that, but also judges, cycle in and out of all these different events and stuff like that. Do you have to keep up with like what's trending as far as, hey, look, right now for whatever reason, all the judges are looking at this versus this, or is it pretty consistent year after year, decade after decade when it comes to this?
Is that a question for me or
either one of you guys?
What I would say about that one is
that could be answered.
Yeah, I would love to hear both your guys' opinion. I mean,
what I'll say about that is now. So it used to be kind of like you'd go to these clinics and then they bring some judges in and they tell you what they want, whatever. But now Tyler Mannion actually does these like reviews on social media. He's vice president of IPB. He's the one that basically makes the standard of posing, and he'll tell you don't do this. And like he does this even at a pro level. Like Andrew Jack would do a step out on his side tricep, and he's like, we do not want to see this. If we see this, we will dock you.
It makes it harder for them to judge you.
Yeah, it makes and so now because I used to have clients that do that. When Tyler said that, I said, we're not fucking doing that no more. You know what I mean? Like, that's gone. So because they're basically telling you what they want, what they don't, and so so that's. I mean, for me, like I think it's easier now to understand it because Tyler gives those updates, and that's just a recent thing. It's only happened in the last couple of years or whatever. So
and even more so, really, like the last year.
Yeah.
Where Tyler's giving the reviews also on the national stage. So my answer is 80% on point with what he said. The only thing, because it's exactly what I was going to say, how the judges judges have been more direct in a sense where they need you as an athlete to make their job as easy as possible. When Bobby turned pro, and I was sitting there with him, and I'm looking up there, and there's 41 guys in his Open D Classic class, 41. And to be honest, that year it was tough. I 41. 15 of them looked lights out, meaning every year when I go to nationals, any other year, any of those guys in the top 15 would have been top 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
happens sometimes.
Yeah, if you got 40 guys in your class, you got 10 scrubs no matter what. I mean, it's just going to happen. They went because it's a box to check. It was a bucket list thing. I wanted to compete at nationals. But then you're looking, it's like, wow. And again, being as subjective as this sport is, you got 15 guys that just look lights out, that just got body parts separating one guy from the other. All the conditioning is close. Unless you have that easily 1-2, which you'll see a lot, they'll pull them right out and stuff and start judging everybody else. They want you hitting the right pose because they don't want to, at nationals especially, just get first and second right so they can get the pro cards.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
You place a guy 8 that deserves third. He's not coming back to your national show. There's too many. He's going somewhere else. Because the feedback's going to be, like he said, if you email him after, what's the difference between, me and 8th and second? You better have an explanation. So the judges want to get it right. You'll see them rotate, move in, move out, and shuffle 20 through 25 because they want to get it right at nationals. It's not like, it doesn't matter. You've been going to some local shows sometimes, after the first 3, does it really matter if you have 4th, 5th, or 6th? Well, it's the competitor maybe, but when only the top 2 get qualification, I'm not saying it needs to be taken less serious, but there's just not that much riding on it. So at the national stage and the pro stage, that's why, Tyler and his crew, I think, have really tried to make it so that the judging across the board is being equal, and the only way we can equally judge you is if the poses are 90-95% similar to the people on stage. You do something way off, you're doing a different pose.
Yeah, they're not going to even see it.
You'll have, and it's interesting to know too that when we pose to highlight our strengths and hide our weaknesses. So you might have a slight adjustment, in a pose, you know what I mean, or a slight difference, but it should generally look about the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say too much, and obviously they're out with you. You're not.
Yeah. So I've seen guys at nationals this year that were doing, they'd be in a quarter turn and their legs are separated so far apart. I'm like, how is this happening? You know what I mean? This is just crazy at a national level show. So it's crazy.
That's quick.
But yeah, it was really quick. But yeah, that was great. We'd love to hear about your show. What was the dates on it again?
So again, we got kind of off there. It is July 19th, 2025 at Buffalo River Works, and it's the NPC West New York Championships. You can contact me at WNYBodybuilding.com. Follow me at CurmerandoFitness.com or Pro Muscle Gym, which is Bobby Mazzera, who I'm here with today. His gym and his IG and Facebook and all that, we kind of promote together, trying to make both events and both fitness centers as big as we can.
Awesome,
Thank you guys for having me.
I appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you.
Are you able to send me the link to that or something?
Yeah.
How does that work?
We'll get you.
Nick, grab it. That's your Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My wife does everything, but yeah, it's Permanent Fitness if you could find it.
Yeah, I'll look it up and I'll get a link thing. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll
let me know when you're ready, Will.
Here. All right, Dave, I'm Will. Pleasure, man.
Will,
Appreciate you
nice to
sitting
meet
down
you
with
guys.
us.
Local legend Dave Lieberman here.
Thank you for having
Mr.
me.
Ohio himself.
Yeah, I heard you before. I used to be the general manager at Premier Toyota, and my receptionist, her and her husband, used to help you out at the Natural Show. I cannot remember her name for the life of me. It's been like 8-9 years, I feel like.
What part of Ohio?
They lived in Amherst. She worked with me at Amherst Toyota.
It might be Carrie, but she works for
Brunette, probably in her 40s back then. I can't recall, but I know her and her husband used to do something for you for your show, the Natural Show. So I've heard about it. I mean, I know a lot of competitors that stay natural that do this show. So tell us when it is, how long it's been going, and just tell us a little about yourself, how you got into doing it.
Well, we started this thing in 1999. Actually, back it up a little bit. I was emceeing contests, and I decided to MC a friend of mine, Todd Pember, was putting on the Governor's Cup Championships. It wasn't a test event, NPC contest, and I guest posed a couple of times for him, and he liked me, we liked each other. And I'd always send him a thank you card, so thank you so much for having me, and hope to do it again next year. And next thing you know, he says, well, the next year we're not going to have it because my partner, is bailing on me, can't do it. I said, that's too bad, I like your show. He goes, well, I need a partner to do it. Unless you want to do it with me, I'm kind of done. He goes, yeah, you know what, I wouldn't mind doing it. And he said, really? I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. I'll do it with you. I said, I want to drug test it. I want to do some things because I see the drug testing shows are bigger. And I also noticed that the NPC shows were huge. But the drug testing stuff kind of like was almost like an add-on kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I would see big contests like the Southern States and the NPC Emerald Cup and Jim Mannion's NPC Pittsburgh Championships and all that. I see these big giant shows. I didn't see a big knockdown, drag them out NPC drug testing contest.
Yeah.
I said, that's kind of my vision. I'd like to do that. So I told my co-promoter I want to do programs, I want to have guest posters because that's going to cost a lot of money. Let's still get sponsors. He says, okay. He goes, I'll tell you what, Dave, you do it. If we lose money, then we got to reconnect and regroup. But if we do well, you got the job. I says, okay, great. So I got a lot of sponsors. I had a big budget, and it was a big success. And our numbers grew from there, and we've had biggest NPC contest in the state. And honestly, I think regionally, we were probably one of the biggest NPC drug testing shows in the country. So it's been great ever since. And
I was going to say, how many clients or how many competitors do you guys typically have on a yearly basis?
Well, it's funny. We became a victim of our success because we've had our biggest show ever was 2014. We have over 400 bodies.
Wow.
But all the NPC shows were giant back then. I mean, even a show that wasn't really that big had 120 to 150 competitors. So everybody was just super inflated. And what happened is I think when you become a victim of your own success, people started liking the show but getting scared. Like, wow, the shows are so big. I don't know if we could do that show. I want to do something smaller. So we added classes. And that's the big thing that I want to let everybody know is that the sooner people enter the contest, the more we can add those classes. I mean, I personally don't like it when I see 15 people in a class. It's their first contest. It's a contest. I'm not saying it's an award ceremony, but I want to make sure that everyone's got a chance. So if they do novice, open, masters, at some point they're going to come home with at least a trophy. And speaking of trophies, we give out some big ones. We give out big giant trophies. First is 6th place, 6 foot. Second is 5 foot. Fourth is 4 foot. So it goes down the line.
Wow.
And then and that's with the open. And that's
so a lot of people are bringing some hardware home that's going to remind them of all the hard work that they put in was worth it.
Don't take your motorcycle.
You haul and bring this thing home.
Yeah, we're giving you furniture. Well, the fact of the matter is that now in the novice divisions, we give out those beautiful Neil Anderson trophies. And we give them out for the top 5. So you get like a gold one for first place, a silver one for second, a bronze and all the way down to top 5. And if you don't, unfortunately, make the top 5, we give out nice competitor medals too. Everybody gets a gym bag, everybody gets a t-shirt, and we got these beautiful championship weight belts by Athletic belts. They're fantastic. And they're giving out, not only they're giving them out to the overall champions, but they're giving them out to the overall novice winners. Not the novice, the overall masters winners, and we're giving them out to the teenage winners and collegiate winners.
So you're a winner. You could be going home with a 6-foot trophy and a cool belt around your waist.
And a gym bag and everything else.
Yeah. Got some clothes, got some belts, you got some bags.
Yeah, and that probably makes people I
hope so.
Want to go to that competition a little bit more because it's nice to go somewhere and feel appreciated. I feel like when somebody gives you a gym bag and they put in the effort into a belt, a big trophy, that's the show I want to win.
Dave's show, show, I've been to Dave's show several times, and I've had a lot of friends who competed there, and they do the best job at taking care of the athlete. It's a very good job at taking care of the athlete. You leave with stuff. It's a great venue. You always feel like the stage is great, the lighting's great, the production's great. He's got guests that come, like Jay Cutler's been to his shows, and Andrea Shaw has been to his shows.
Andrea Shaw, 5 times. So I appreciate that. We do the best we can. You know, honestly, we want everybody to feel like they've accomplished something. It's almost like I promote things the way I would do if I was running a marathon. I want people to feel special. People go into a marathon. The majority of people that compete that run a marathon are not going to win the marathon, and they know it going in, but they do it as a bucket list thing, and they enjoy it, and they get their bib, and they get their T-shirt. And I think that a bodybuilding contest, we all want to win, and I'm not discrediting that for a second, but the majority don't. The majority just come in there and just it's almost like a transformation contest where they just want to lose some weight, get on stage, see what they got, get some awards, get on their social media, pump it up. You know, and speaking of social media, we got Gilco Film Productions coming in.
Well, and it's funny you said, because you run your show like it's a national show. You got Gilco doing the recording, which is the same guy who does the recording if you go compete at North Americans.
Arnold Classics next week.
Yeah, Arnold. Yes, yeah, exactly. So you're gonna get professional level production coming out of it.
Right.
It's really great. And one thing I like about your show a lot is that it's a safe space for people, because like they have all these natural federations to compete in bodybuilding, but there's nothing like an NPC show. And an NPC show, they run different. The judging is different. And like you said, it gives people a chance to be a bodybuilder for a day but not have to go against guys that they're just not in the same league with.
Well,
you know?
I mean, and as a promoter, you do have a choice. And with me, it was a no-brainer of a choice, because we wanted to be with the biggest and best federation in the world, and the NPC and IFB Pro League are worldwide. Plus, I grew up with them.
Yeah.
I like those people.
It's the gold standard.
The athletes. Every one of my titles is an NPC contest. I have not won the Teenage Ohio as an NPC athlete. I won the Mr. Ohio as an NPC athlete. I won the Collegiate Nationals as an NPC athlete. So for me, there is no other. Right. It's NPC or bust.
I've got a client right now. He's a natural guy. He's going to do a show, and he's great. And he's not the type of guy. He's older. He's in his 40s. He started bodybuilding late. You know, he always loved the sport, and it gives him an opportunity to be able to go on stage and do his routine and feel good about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to come introduce myself. My name is Radu. Carrie, lawyer from East Florida, LA.
Hey, bud. Sorry, we're right in the middle of a video.
Yeah, we're filming it. Yeah, interview.
Sorry, no worries.
Brother.
We'll be done soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you right afterwards.
I got my fans here, guys.
Yeah.
So I promise you we're going to...
we'll wrap it up with you for sure. But
No, it's okay.
It's all right, brother. Don't worry about it. I didn't think you knew.
I'm not trying to blow you off, but yeah, we're doing this podcast. So sorry, guys, for mobbed by fans. It's like the Beatles.
Yeah, everybody knows. No, it's really a local legend show. Yeah,
the natural side of it, though, because obviously with so much science and so much out there, even with TRT and things like that, is it harder and harder to find natural competitors, or is there something a little different about it? It's like that niche that you're in or you're out.
I think I honestly think it's easier, because if you think about everybody that works out in the gym, how many people are on TRT or other drugs? The vast majority aren't. Now, maybe a hardcore muscle, but you go to any gym, I don't care if it's Lifetime or whatever. I train at Titan's Gym in Menor, best
great gym.
facilities
Great gym.
in northeastern Ohio. And I mean, the vast majority of them look great because it's a great gym, and they cater to people that actually want to work out and not just want to have some donuts and leave. But the majority of them, vast majority of them, are not on TRT or not on drugs.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get in shape. And I think you have a bigger market. And if a lot of those people want to get in shape and do a show, but they feel they may not have a fair shot at it. You know how I got started with this? I don't know. I'm going to be 60 in May, mind you, God willing, knock on wood.
Yeah,
but
there we go.
I remember the EAS Shape Up. There was a product called EAS, and they had a Shape Up contest where you held up newspapers, and you had a before and after transformation, and you could win a Corvette or a trip to Hawaii or a leather jacket or whatever. It was brilliant marketing. And I would go up to the guys at the gym. This is before I was a promoter. I'd be like, "You look pretty good. Why don't you do a show?" And they'd be like, I don't want to do that bodybuilding stuff. Why? Hey, you got to be all gassed up. I don't want to do that stuff. And so I thought to myself, God, there's so many people doing this. They should be competitors, but they just don't want to basically take it to that level.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, that was illegal.
Yeah.
Federal felony, for Christ's sakes. So people didn't want to break the law. People don't risk their health and all that good stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I decided from the get-go, let's drug test the shows. It's a market that hasn't really been explored that aggressively in the NPC.
Sure.
And I thought that it was there, and it turned out that I was right. Thank goodness.
And it's cool for like for a local standpoint, because I know a lot of guys that are like, oh man, I'd love to be a bodybuilder, but I don't want to take the drugs to look like that, or I'd have to take drugs to look like that. And really, you can do a lot naturally. Like you can become a very good big bodybuilder without having to pump yourself full of a bunch of drugs. It just takes a little longer.
And you know, not only that, but some of the best bodybuilders in the world were clean for a long, long time.
Yeah. Ronnie was one.
Andrea Shaw is a 5-time Miss Olympia. She was in our contest and placed second.
Yeah.
Ashley Kaltwasser won her contest. It was her second contest. She won her contest. She's a 3-time Bikini Olympia champion, the winningest bikini competitor ever.
Yeah. Wow.
We had Nicole Wilkins, who won, I don't know, 5-figure Olympia. She placed 5th in our contest.
Sure.
So we've had some Olympia winners that have traveled through our contest. You hear stories that Ronnie Coleman was clean and won the Team Universe, and it was drug tested then.
Yeah.
You hear Kai Green. I remember Kai Green as a teenager being completely drug-free, competing as a teenager, drug-free, looking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys, if you tap out as a natural, and I'm not saying that that's what you should do.
Right.
I'm just simply saying that
that's what
if
happens.
you're doing well then, and then you decide to gas up, and that's what you want to do, and you know, you're probably going to be not only a professional, but a top pro.
A good one. Yeah.
a
real
good one. So
yeah.
again, I'm not, I don't want that to be misread. Like, hey, listen,
no, of course not.
You know, and
well, that's
by
why
the way, the NPC is giving a lot of attention to the drug-free area of the sport. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we were successful.
Yeah, the Ben Weider now and everything.
Yeah, Ben Weider and stuff. So they're giving opportunities where they're going to have natural pro league contests now and prize money and all this. So you got a lot of opportunities now that the NPC is stepping up, and we've always stepped up, and the athletes have never disappointed us, thank God. Our entries and tickets are at DaveLieberman.com. It's DaveLiberman. We've got the posters here. See this? We've got the I'm sticking together here. Got the logo poster and another poster. And October 18th is our scheduled date for our NPC Natural Northern USA Championships. We're the Avon Performing Arts Center near Cleveland, Ohio. It's an $18.5 million facility. It's absolutely fantastic.
It is. And there's a lot of great stuff around there, too. Great places to eat, great hotels. Like, there's just a lot of stuff to do when you're out there for the weekend. When's the deadline for anybody to register that wants to be part of it?
Okay, so the entry without a late fee is March 15th. Everybody wants to save money. So two things. Get your entry in by March 15th, and I'm going to add those classes. So if I see there's in the novice, classic physique, you know, we have 2 classes, let's say one has 15 competitors, I'm going to add that class, so hopefully we can have 7 and 8. We'll see how it breaks down. But we'll do our best to give the athletes the best that where we can give them, because I know that they're giving their best. We've all competed, guys. We all know what it's
Everybody
like.
competes in something.
And to sacrifice and to do and to put your life on hold and to do this. So I want to give everybody the biggest bang for the buck they can. I want them the best experience they can, win, lose, or draw, and I want them to come back. Whether it be my contest or another NPC contest, I want them to support all the NPC shows, because it's very important that we all grow as a community and as an industry together, because that's why prize money grows.
Yeah.
That's why these contests get big.
Keeping the sport relevant.
That's why I can give you gym bags and belts and
6-foot trophies. And yeah, absolutely.
Dude, his trophies are crazy, bro.
That's awesome.
They're really
I
cool.
appreciate it. People are going to walk in your house and know you did something big.
Heck yeah, why not, right? Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks,
I'll make
Dave.
sure I get you a
Thank
copy
you,
of this.
guys.
Yeah,
And
we'll see you
here,
there.
actually take one of our cards, and you'll see. We'll post some of our stuff on there. We'll add you to it once we get the links cut up.
Make it collaborative.
DaveLeeman.com. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you guys sooner than later. April 5th, man. 6 weeks.
We'll be there.
That's awesome, man.
Okay.
That's
Thanks,
right.
brother.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, right. You got to sit over there on a little.
I know.
metal chair.
I felt like a midget.
So awesome. We got to have Dave Ron join us, talk about a couple of the big shows coming up for those that are paying attention. I know we had some audio issues during the posing aspect, but you got to see a couple of the posers out there, which was kind of cool. Nick got out there a little bit, show off a little bit.
It was fun. That was super fun.
You know, and man, once again, it just goes into how cool everybody is being around here and gets along with each other, helping each other out. And it's a cool community. So you've got some big surprise for us, though. So why don't we share that? We've been waiting to post or put this out there.
Yes. All right. So Guys Night is officially partnered with Grip Socks. If you haven't checked out Grip Socks, they are awesome. I was wearing a pair while I was posing. They have what they are basically is if you could think of.
One of them is, it should be.
All right, this is hilarious.
Hey, you know what? Out of 100 and something people in this room, that's the first time that happened.
Yeah.
What?
That's
All right.
But anyways, yeah. So
Grip socks.
basically, what they are, dude, they're like the Nike Elite type of sock.
Yeah, let's
you know,
check these things out.
Yeah.
What do you got them here?
Yeah. Open it up. Yeah.
So they're
like
an athletic sock.
They're an athletic sock, right? Like a Nike Elite type of sock. It's not actually a Nike Elite sock, but whatever. But they have like like hospital like rubber grips on the bottom of them. You know. So
this goes into like leg day when you don't want to wear shoes in there or whatever. Nice packaging too.
Yeah, super nice packaging. Yeah. So yeah, these are the red, white, and blue ones, which were my favorite. I picked that color to have them send us. But yeah, the bottom are little gorillas too, which are
that is sweet.
Which are dope, right? Yeah. So
yes.
We got men's, we got women's, you got the high socks, you got the low socks. But yeah, basically these were designed. Our coach, so the guy who makes this is his name's Lucas. He's one of my teammates and Far Beyond Failure with Morgan Rice. And Morgan has us do a lot of lifts barefoot, or flat-footed in our socks. And sometimes our socks would be sliding around on these machines. And so we're like, dude, we need something. He designed it. He designed it, set it up. It's been in business for a couple years now. It's really starting to take off and do well. And it turns out there's a real big market for people that want to train flat-footed. It's big in the powerlifting industry, and even in bodybuilding, it's becoming more and more popular.
I see it every day, especially when it comes to squats, deadlifts. I see more and more people doing it. So
yeah. I throw a pair of flip-flops on, and I have my grip socks on, and I just slide my flops off, hop in a machine, do my set, slide them back on, and keep rolling. So yeah, they're really awesome. We're partnering with them. You can get 15% off if you want to check them out. Code GuysNight. Check out and get you 15% off, which is really cool. We're going to do some raffles and giveaways with them on the next podcast. We're going to try to do something today, but it was really hectic.
It went so fast, dude. I mean, for us being live, we've been here for, 4 hours almost, 3 hours live. So I had some great interviews with Ron, with Dave. I got to check with Mike and Dejan earlier.
One more thing
going on.
One more thing with these two, another thing that I use them for is sometimes when I'm posing and they have like a posing room that's like a slick floor.
Yeah.
I throw my socks on and I'll be able to grip and be able to. Because a lot of posing is about gripping the floor and engaging your quads.
I was gonna say you can really torque your leg a certain way when you got that grip.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and a stage is going to have some type of texture or carpet that you can use to do that. So if you're practicing in a like a community room or something like that, like a yoga room or something like that, where it's a slick floor, these are great. So
and if you have dogs, you just want to run around the hardwood floors in your house or chase your kids and not fall down while they slip and slide. Another great reason for these.
Yeah, they're super functional for a lot of things, but we usually just use it for this stuff.
Yes, absolutely, Dejan.
Thanks, Dejan.
Man.
Yep, thank you.
Long distance.
Long distance, all the way. Yep. So, but yeah, grip socks are awesome. Definitely check them out. They're made by a good friend of mine, Lucas, who does a great job. There's more stuff on their website too. They have like T-shirts. They have lifting wraps, knee sleeves. We might be getting a pair of knee sleeves to give away too. So we'll see about that. But
awesome. So we'll make sure we cut this down into a little commercial so we can to put it in more stuff, because we really appreciate them for doing something like that with us. Once again, guys, Guys Night, GUYSKNIGHT on their website. Get you 15% off, which is dope. Anytime you get a discount, that's always a win.
Yep.
And all right, Brandon. My arms ain't that big, or your ego's that small. One of the two.
Oh, he's got a huge ego. So we know that's a compliment. Yeah.
But we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah.
Anyhow, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. It's been 3 hours. I'm exhausted. We're gonna cut this down in some interviews. So thanks so much for listening. If you're tuning in, please make sure you like, share, comment, and we'll see you guys soon. Good night, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.